And it's another afternoon of EFL action on your home of the EFL. The Talksport network is your destination for football. Coming up in the second half of this season, we're going to bring you over 300 commentaries. That includes every match from the 2026 World Cup and also today's Premier League 12:30 kickoff between Leeds and Manchester United. That is over on Talksport. Here on Talksport 2, the Championship is the focus. Will Coventry get back to winning ways, or can Birmingham win for the first time in a month? Your commentary team for Birmingham City against Coventry City are the former Sheffield United striker Courtney Sweetman-Kirk alongside Talksport's Joe Shannon.
Thank you, Alfie, and good morning to you from a bright and cold St Andrews, over halfway through the Championship season, and the promotion picture is ever-changing. Coventry retain a sizable lead at the top, but they have stuttered over the festive period, while it was not an especially happy Christmas for Birmingham City, but their home form is still outstanding. So it's an intriguing West Midlands encounter early on in 2026. Is it the start of a Birmingham surge up the table, or can Coventry extend their advantage at the summit? Looking down below us, I can see Frank Lampard and Chris Davis shaking hands. Lots of television cameras pitch side to capture the moment, and the smell of acrid smoke lingering in the air here. We've had all of the usual fanfare, fireworks before the game. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, are we going to see some fireworks on the pitch today?
Yeah, we hope so. It's a local derby, so that's what you always want to see, and I think both recent form for these sides hasn't been the best, so they'll be both hoping on either side of the coin that this is the one that really gets them up and running again. But I do think we'll see goals today.
Well, the Birmingham fans are singing their famous anthem, Keep Right On. These are the two teams. Beadle is the goalkeeper for Birmingham. Iwata, Neumann, Robinson and Kai Wagner, who only joined the club yesterday from Philadelphia Union. Doyle and Paik in the holding roles. Roberts, Stansfield and Kumas behind Duksh up front. And for Coventry, Rushworth in goal. Van Ewijk, Thomas, Kitching and De Silva. Grimes and Eccles, Sakamoto, Rodoni and Mason Clark behind Sims up front. Well, wasn't that a stirring rendition from these Birmingham City supporters? But it will be Coventry, the league leaders, with an 8-point advantage to get the game off and underway. Coventry all in luminous orange today, from right to left towards the Tilton Road end, and the game begins. And a clearance from Rushworth straight away, cannoned into Jay Stansfield, and that has drifted well wide in the end. Just for a moment, I thought it was going to be the worst possible start for the Coventry goalkeeper. You've seen that sort of freak thing happen in the past, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk. Stansfield tried to charge down the goalkeeper's clearance. It cannoned off him. That could have gone anywhere.
Yeah, it's quite humorous actually. He's just rubbing his back, Stansfield, because the way obviously that it pelted at him, cold day, and that one's early on. But you do that as a forward, you try and chase down the goalkeeper, and 99 out of 100 it completely misses you. But that's what you do it for, to try and hope that one day it comes off the back of you and in the back of the net. But luckily for Rushworth there, it's wide of the goal.
Well, Birmingham are playing from left to right in the first half towards the Gilmerick stand, which is split between home and away supporters. 2,000 have travelled the short distance to support Coventry City today. Birmingham 0, Coventry 0. And of course, in about half an hour's time, they'll be underway at Elland Road for a classic Premier League fixture over on Talksport this lunchtime. Leeds against Manchester United. An early touch for Bobby Thomas, the tall and slender Coventry defender, nudges it back to Rushworth, who's been outstanding this season, the goalkeeper. Matt Grimes is under pressure. Good feet to dart away from Kumas, and then it's smashed forward by Thomas high up the pitch. Header by Grimes out towards the right for Coventry, and Sakamoto with the weaving, dancing footwork. Grimes back to Thomas, and it's clear to see, even though they have stuttered of late, Courtney, this is a Coventry team who have still got plenty of confidence.
Yeah, they're a good side, and look, you don't get to where they got to and turn into a bad side overnight. We always talk about it, the Championship, it's such a peculiar league.
Oh, Rushworth nearly lost possession again, this time on the edge of his own 18-yard box. He gets away with it this time and plays in Rodoni down the left. Across comes Phil Neumann with a firm but fair challenge, and it's a Coventry corner.
I'm just watching Rushworth now, and he's sort of touching the ground with his studs and looking at them. I don't know whether it's one of those psychologically where he's sometimes you do that. You have a bit of a bad pass or do something, you look at the ground, or genuinely whether it is a bit of an issue. We mentioned it before the game, there's certain patches of this pitch that look a bit frosty and a bit icy, and I just wonder whether he's trying to get to grips with it, or the earlier mistake that came straight from kick-off, whether that's maybe playing on his mind.
We're sitting right on the halfway line here as Coventry win the game's first corner. Grimes will take it, plenty of orange shirts forward. Grimes delivers left-footed, poor delivery, and you can tell by the ironic cheers it's an easy header away for Marvin Duksh. Back in by Sakamoto and chested down on the edge of the box by Stansfield, who finds Lewis Kumas, the Liverpool loanee, bursting into Coventry territory, only half away by De Silva, and a good reverse ball by Roberts, nudges it into the path of Stansfield, who'll knock it wide, but the assistant has got that checkered flag up on the near side of the field. It's offside against Roberts, and it's a free kick to Coventry City. Birmingham 0, Coventry 0, and you're listening to Talksport 2.
Yeah, and I think Coventry get away with one there, Joe, and it comes from when Kumas starts driving out, and this initially his big touch, it gets away from him, and it's Van Eyck that's come across and just dangles a leg at it almost. He doesn't really make much of an effort to make the challenge, and because he's then dragged out to the centre of the field, that's why there's that space on the left hand side for Stansfield to get in there.
Couple of postponements in the Championship today. Sheffield United, Courtney's former club, against Oxford. That game has been called off at Bramall Lane, and Portsmouth Ipswich is off as well, so it really is a chance for Coventry to further their lead at the top. 8 points clear of Ipswich in second at the start of the day, and 9 clear of Middlesbrough in third. Real scramble down by the near side corner flag. Coventry have it with Mason Clark, who gives it away. Little back heel by Doyle for Birmingham, goes straight out of play, and it's a Coventry throw in an attacking area, and I wonder whether Van Eyck is going to come across and haul this one in long. 0-0.
Yeah, he is, and you mentioned Mason Clark there as well. I think that's a big opportunity for him today. Iwata, for me, he isn't a right back. He's a midfielder, isn't he? So I think there's a massive opportunity for Mason Clark to really get Iwata down that left-hand side, the Coventry left.
Captaining the side today, Iwata. Van Eyck with a long throw, hurled into the near post, and up go the heads. It's a looping header, nudged clear by Jack Robinson for Birmingham. One back by Eccles, deep inside the Birmingham City half. The leaders, Coventry, 0-0 here at St Andrews. Fortress St Andrews for Birmingham City, despite 3 straight 1-1 draws on this ground for Chris Davis's team. Header out of play by Grimes, and it's Birmingham throw in the right back position. They are without a win in their last 7 league matches, Birmingham City, but I'd wager that Chris Davis, in the bright sunshine, about 20 rows of seats down below us, will be relatively pleased with the energetic start that his team have made, Courtney. Yeah,
I think it's been positive. I would say that for me, Coventry, aside from the couple of mistakes from Rushworth, have looked more like scoring, but look great down this left-hand side now.
Birmingham on the attack in towards Duksh in the area! What a finish! Right-footed on the volley! It's a brilliant goal! And what a start for Birmingham City! Kai Wagner, the new left-back, with the assist, and Marvin Duksh thundering it home unmarked. The leaders are behind. Birmingham 1, Coventry 0.
Well, it's a fantastic goal, first and foremost. And you think about Birmingham lately, in the last 7 games, they've only scored 5 goals. And that's what needed to change. That's what they needed to get back to. It's a wonderful finish by Duksh, and love that moment as well. He's pointing at the new signing, Wagner, as if to say he's arrived, the new boy with an assist. They get caught out, Coventry. Again, it's Van Eyck for me. He comes too far across to the middle of the pitch, and then he gets completely exploited. The ball goes over to that left-hand side to Wagner, and he's very, very clever. He just lifts it over everyone. Introduction. It's a difficult finish, by the way, on the volley, but what he doesn't try to do is just completely nail through the ball. It's controlled finish. It's side foot. He just passes it with power into the back of the net, and it's a really good start from Birmingham.
Well, Marvin Duksh, the big centre forward who made his senior debut under Jurgen Klopp at Borussia Dortmund, has got his first goal since late November, and Birmingham lead Coventry by 1-0. And an immediate impact made by the new left-back, Kai Wagner, who only joined the club from Philadelphia Union yesterday. And now they really are raucous with noise, the Birmingham fans. Keep right on. Echoes around St Andrews. And Coventry really have got a job on. They've got work to do here. 1-0 down already. But here they come with Eccles. 25 yards out. Eccles with a curling shot. He's equalised straight away. That is the response of league leaders and potential champions. Eccles right down the middle, tucked it away into the corner, beyond the dive of the goalkeeper. And that is a response in the grand manner from Frank Lampard's Coventry City. Birmingham 1, Coventry 1, 8 minutes played. What a start to this game.
Well, it's a sublime finish from Eccles, but there's two things in the build-up here that, for me, I wouldn't be too pleased with if I'm the Birmingham City manager. For one, when Eccles receives the ball here, 40 yards out, right in the middle of the pitch, he's got the freedom of Birmingham. There is no midfielder around him. It's so poor, it's incredible. The lack of bodies around him. And then when he drives, he keeps driving. There's no one within 10 yards of him. And then when he unleashes this shot, I think he does well. You see, he's trying to shape it, he's trying to bend it. But I think Beadle has to do better here. Maybe it's because it bounces right in front of him, but I still want my goalkeeper to do better with that. But nonetheless, great reaction from Coventry City.
Well, he's sort of bent it around the defender, Robinson, hasn't he? And Beadle's a bit slow to react, plunging to his left-hand side, and he couldn't keep it out. What an opening to this game. So open on Talksport 2 at St Andrews. It's 1-1 already. Rodoni inside right for Coventry with a deflected cross, and that is hooked away by Patrick Roberts up to the halfway line. Well, from a neutral's perspective, that's exactly what you'd want.
Yeah, perfect. And we said at the start, didn't we, Joe? We thought we'd get goals, maybe not two in 9 minutes quite so quickly, but it certainly opened up the game early on.
Middlesbrough against Southampton is our 3 o'clock commentary from the Championship on Talksport 2. And Borough with the chance to potentially close the gap and move back into those automatic promotion places. Southampton, of course, very much in the promotion race themselves. Offside flag goes up against Ellis Sims. Birmingham had the ball. Not sure why the referee didn't play a very simple advantage there. Either way, it's gone back to Beadle again. And maybe the goalkeeper, all in green, caught cold. I don't think he'd had a touch of the ball, James Beadle, before that effort from Eccles nestled in the back of his net.
No, as you say, I think the more that we've seen the replays on the screen above us, he doesn't get down quite quickly enough, and I think effectively should do better. But then you look at the other end, Rushworth, 2 mistakes, and there was an element where the ball went back to him a couple of minutes ago when he took a loose touch. So it's certainly not a day for the goalkeepers so far.
Duksh coming back from an offside position and a free kick to Coventry on the edge of their own penalty area. Birmingham 1, Coventry 1, QPR 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0 elsewhere in the Championship, and we'll keep you up to date with all the goals as they go in from Leagues 1 and 2 as well. And in the Premier League this lunchtime, Leeds against Manchester United is a 12:30 start, and that is live over on Talksport. Just a smatching of empty seats at St Andrews today. It doesn't look completely full. High ball hoisted downfield by Rushworth, a flick by the tall, slender Sims. Iwata trying to shepherd it out of play, but he can't do it under pressure from Mason Clark. He's had to nudge the ball into touch, and Coventry will send Van Eyck across from right back to take one of these long throws again.
Well, this is the thing with Coventry. Sort of these areas are just as good, if not better, than a corner with the long throw that Van Eyck's got.
56 goals they've scored now this season, Courtney, in the Championship alone. Long throw by Van Eyck into the penalty area, header away by Robinson for Birmingham City. Sakamoto nudges it square back to Van Eyck, and he'll shepherd it over the halfway line back to the feet of his goalkeeper Rushworth, who this time just takes a couple of touches to get a feel for the ball in that slightly frosty area. Whips a clearance high towards the right-hand side. Little flick by Thomas, who'd stayed forward for Coventry. Hooked downfield by Robinson. Header by Kitching. Not the best of headers, but it evades Kumas, and via a glancing touch off the Liverpool low knee, goes out of play for a Coventry throw. Well, you have to give credit to Frank Lampard's team, Courtney, for the way that they've responded. It's 1-1 with 12 minutes gone.
Yeah, it's a brilliant reaction to get back in it so quickly. Obviously, I'll be disappointed the fact that they conceded so early the way that they did, but I think showing what they're about, that character, that mentality.
Birmingham have lost the ball midway inside their own half, and Mason Clark in possession, the number 10 in good goal scoring form, gets it back on the edge of the D and shoots low. That took a deflection off Neumann, which took all the sting out of the shot, and it's easily gathered by Beadle. Beadle immediately blasts the ball upfield. Stansfield can't get on the end of it, and Kitching has won it back. And it is interesting watching Coventry. The second they get the ball in and around the edge of the penalty area, the first instinct is to shoot. Do they sense a sign of weakness, of vulnerability about the Birmingham goalkeeper, maybe?
Yeah, and I think that's what you have to do as a player. Obviously, you have your philosophies in your game plan.
Oh, Sims is in, down the right-hand side. Beadle makes a good save with his feet this time. Not sure why Sims didn't cut it back towards the onrushing Rodoni. Birmingham smuggle it away, and it's out of play in the end for a Coventry throw on the far side. In fact, has he actually given a free kick here, the referee?
Yeah, well, I'm just looking at actually Rodoni and Sims, and I think Rodoni's asking the question that you've just asked, maybe a little less politely than you did, in terms of saying that has to be cut back. To me, Sims, he does ever so well. He puts Robinson on his backside, I think it is, and then at that moment you're just looking for that composure to find a teammate. I know he's desperate to score, but he has to cut it back for the good of the team.
Rodoni was square and he was open, wasn't he? And now Coventry have one of the best deliverers in the Championship standing over this free kick. It's right on the far right touchline. St Andrews, the field of play for the most part in the shade. Delivered in by Grimes, in swinging left-footed, header by Kitching. Great save by the goalkeeper. Beadle plunging to his left, and if he was maybe at fault for the Eccles equaliser, he more than made up for it for that with that save.
Yeah, it's brilliant. He does ever so well to get down quickly. What I will say is I don't know what Newman and Robinson are doing, because he gets up far too easily there, Kitchen, in between the two centre-halves. He's got far too much space.
And a great reaction save from the goalkeeper to keep the score at 1-1. Another Grimes delivery for Coventry, high underneath the crossbar, and it's come off the head of Neumann, who was challenging with his own goalkeeper. Beadle trying to punch, and it's deflected, a looping deflection over the top for another Coventry corner, but Coventry well on top in the game now.
Yeah, they're looking really dangerous, whether it be from set pieces in terms of the corners or the free kicks, or speaking about their long throws as well. That's effectively as good as a set piece for Coventry. They just want to hope that they want to put one of these opportunities in the back of the net, because they're creating so much.
Well, the pressure on James Beadle early on here, the Birmingham goalkeeper. Quarter of an hour played on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. Birmingham City 1, the leaders Coventry City 1. Floated in by Grimes, high to the back post, and over the top of it was Thomas. Mason Clark had a dig at it, couldn't get anything behind it, easily gathered by Beadle. 21 times they've scored from set pieces so far this season already, Coventry, and they look a threat. Yeah,
they do. I think it's the mixture of the players that they've got in terms of the physical attributes, tall, but also willing to attack the ball. It's all fair and well being tall, but you've got to have that willingness and determination to attack, mixed with the quality of the delivery is top notch.
Well, it is a bitterly cold St Andrews today, as is the case around the country, of course, and a couple of the games in the Championship have succumbed to the weather at Bramall Lane and Fratton Park, and Alfie will bring you a full reminder, of course, I'm sure, at half-time of the rest of the matches in the EFL, which have fallen and, I'm afraid, continue to fall foul of the weather. But don't worry, we're warm enough here, and Courtney's got a heated gilet on, which is an excellent choice, I must say, at this time of year. QPR lead Sheffield Wednesday by a goal to nil. QPR, who are challenging for a spot in the playoffs. Sheffield Wednesday, we know, rooted to the bottom of the table and almost certain to be relegated. This race for promotion, maybe Coventry aside, as long as they can keep hold of their lead, is extremely unpredictable. And still so much life left in it. Roberts, great reverse ball through here for Kumas, round the goalkeeper, and scores! Birmingham back in front. Lewis Kumas took it beautifully. First goal for the club, picked out and rounded Rushworth before rolling it into the bottom corner. Birmingham 2, Coventry 1, almost out of nothing.
Well, just watching Bobby Thomas here at the moment, because in trying to save that goal, he was in a heap in the back of the net. I think he gets caught in it. They've waved the physios on. I don't know, not sure whether he's potentially bleeding from somewhere, but the goal is excellent. Love this from Roberts, the weight of pass, but the run from Kumas is immaculate. And again, for me, Van Eyck is in no man's land because he starts in front of him. There's an argument that maybe Thomas steps a little bit too early, but regardless, the timing of the run and the purpose in it is absolute perfection from Kumas. And then you're asking him, have you got the composure? Takes that little step around Rushworth out to the right hand side, and it's a cute angle, but he finishes ever so well. But yet again, the defending from Coventry City is very, very poor.
So his first for Birmingham, you have to say it comes against the run of play, but Chris Davis is delighted down below us, the Birmingham head coach, who in some circles there's a suggestion that he's under pressure. Tom Wagner, the owner and chairman, did an interview this week where he spoke about the goal of making the playoffs, and Birmingham at the start of the day 9 points adrift of the playoff places, but it's another fine move and finish from a Birmingham City perspective. Great reverse ball by Roberts, and onto it in a flash Kumas, and there could be trouble, as Courtney was saying here, for Bobby Thomas. He's had to have the physio on, and I think the referee is saying you're going to have to continue treatment off the pitch. The Birmingham fans in front of us are furious with the situation. No need for Thomas to be treated on the field here, but that's precisely what is happening. Maybe a little time for Coventry to try and steady themselves, but there's no doubt about it, at the moment Coventry are on a stuttering run, and Birmingham, with their home form, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, were always, and we've seen it in the first 18 and a half minutes, going to be a very tough assignment.
Yeah, and like I said, you look back at Birmingham, the last 7 games, they've only scored 5 goals, and here they've got 2 already. And you're looking at that table, and you're right, I did the Sheffield United game, the Sheffield United-Leicester game the other day, and I said, they're still in with a shout at playoffs, you know. They're on 32 points and Birmingham on 31. So the same with Birmingham. If they can get the run together, they'll be in with a shout, because this championship season, aside from Coventry, and you're looking then at sort of Ipswich as well, who are starting to look like the Ipswich that maybe we expected at the start of the season. Everyone else, it's so tight in those playoff places. And as we always see in the back end of the championship season, if you can put a good run together, you never know where you can catapult yourself. And I do think that, you know, down to sort of Birmingham, that might well be the cut-off. But if you can put a few runs together, accrue some points, then there's no reason come the end of the season that they can't be in those playoff places.
Well, Coventry kick the game off again, and this time they're 2-1 down. Bobby Thomas waiting to come back on the halfway line. Just got a pat on the back from Frank Lampard. Grimes covering at centre-half for Thomas, the former Burnley man. Rushworth's clearance is sliced up into the air, flick on by Eccles to the halfway line. Coventry have it back now with Sakamoto, the number 7, and it's fed forward high and long by Van Eyck. Little flick by Sims, but that's going to go all the way through towards James Beadle. I think the last touch was off Robinson, and Beadle had to play a very risky ball into the path of Neumann. But Birmingham, to their credit, as Thomas comes back on, have worked it well. Birmingham lead by 2-1. They're winning 7 coming into today. Kumas for Birmingham to Roberts through the middle. Roberts has held up the play nicely. Kumas is to his left. Here he is, the man who scored the second goal, running at the defender Van Eyck, and nudging it back to Roberts, who tries a deflected cross. That's gathered easily by Rushworth. A really promising and exciting first 21 minutes in this game in the Championship. They'll be underway at Ellen Road shortly over on Talksport for Leeds against Manchester United, as Mason Clark plays a square ball left to right that is shanked straight out of play. Yeah, unlike him, but probably shows that they're a little bit rattled at the moment, Coventry, and that's credit to Birmingham City. I think you mentioned it, Joe, sort of that goal comes against the run of play, but in terms of the way that Birmingham City are playing, doing well on the counter-attack, they're exposing that issue that I've spoken about a couple of times now, with Van Eyck finding himself out of position on more than one occasion, and they seem to recognise that that's an issue, Birmingham City, and when they've had the opportunity to exploit it, they have done extremely well. Birmingham 6 points off the playoffs as it stands. Iwata, the captain. Forward ball to Dux, edge of the area, tried to nudge it back to Stansfield. Risky back pass by Eccles, but Rushworth is out quickly to mop it up and clear upfield. Sims away on the right-hand side, the wing position, nudges it back to Sakamoto. Sakamoto wriggles away from one challenge in blue, but then it's a foul by Kai Wagner. And it's a free kick to Coventry in the right-back position. What a start for Kai Wagner. I mean, Courtney made the move from Philadelphia in the United States only yesterday, straight into the team. And he's a key part of the first goal with his new side leading 2-1.
Yeah, brilliant. Probably running on adrenaline as well. But, you know, if you can get that assist or a big contribution early in your career, then it's always a positive.
Sakamoto's delivery from the Coventry right, blocked off on the far side by Tommy Doyle. Birmingham's number 7, back from a 3-game ban today after his sending off at Sheffield United. They have struggled with red cards actually this season at Birmingham City. And Coventry have the ball on the near side now with Kitching. Back to Grimes. Grimes forward of the halfway line. Little 1-2 between him and Rodoni. Now out on the left. Kitching back to Grimes again. Both head coaches looking up into the bright sunshine above us on a freezing day. Sakamoto marauding infield from the right, delivering it in high left-footed, and the header by Mason Clark. He's glanced narrowly wide.
He gets the jump on Iwata, and I think he makes the wrong decision. I think he's trying to nestle this in the near post, and I think you play the odds there. You head it back across and it might dip in that top right-hand corner, but actually you've got teammates there as well. You've got the likes of Sims and Rodoni that can come and mop it up, and certainly doesn't get it right. Whether it's the wrong decision or the wrong execution, either way, should have been better.
Birmingham 2, QPR 1. Birmingham 2, Coventry 1. QPR 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0 is the other latest score in the Championship. And the first goal of the day in League One has come at Lincoln City, who trail Peterborough United by a 1-0. What a job Luke Williams has done at Peterborough United, taking them from inside the relegation zone to mid-table. Harry Leonard has got that goal for Peterborough United at Lincoln. Birmingham leading 2-1 against the leaders Coventry. They give the ball away, hoisted upfield by Thomas for Coventry. Coventry, since going 2-1 behind, have not really got a grip on the game. Doyle, forward of the centre circle for Birmingham City, and driving up the middle, thought about shooting, angled the ball wide instead to Iwata, who delivers first time, high to the back post. Dux trying to get underneath it, header away by Van Ewijk. Then Kai Wagner is first to it, but he's nudged the ball forward and straight out of play. Goal kick away to our right for Coventry City.
Just can't seem to get a hold of the game, can they, Coventry? To the first goal that they conceded, had a fantastic reaction. And maybe there's an element of that actually as well, that to a degree Birmingham, they didn't switch on from when they scored, lost their concentration and maybe sat back a little bit as well, whereas now you see they're right up in the faces of Coventry. They can sense that they've got them on the ropes and can maybe get another goal quickly.
Coventry have it now with Van Ewijk wearing the gloves, away in the right back position on the far side in front of the Kop, which is on one side of the ground here at Birmingham rather than as is tradition behind the goal. Plenty of live football coming up for you on the Talksport network, including Middlesbrough against Southampton at 3 o'clock on Talksport 2. And Leicester West Brom is tomorrow night. Interception by Doyle for Birmingham, midway inside his own half. Dux loses the ball, thought he was caught, play continues. Kitching down the middle towards Mason Clark, edge of the area, little flick towards Rodoni, not played well enough, and Iwata gets across to win Birmingham a throw.
There's elements of Coventry where you see why they've done so well this season, in and around the edge of the box. They try that cute little passing move on 1 and 2 touch quickly, and we've seen it come off, but also there you just see where it's not quite there, where we've seen them stutter more recently, and that seems to be continuing at the moment.
This is Talksport 2, and it's 2-1 to Birmingham City. Van Ewijk back towards his own goal, having to dart away from Kumas, turns and tears over the halfway line. It was an excellent dummy. Van Ewijk has travelled 40 yards or so here, but he's given it straight to Wagner on his debut. Wagner now at the opposite side of the field, the far side, the left, finds Dux, back out wide to Wagner again, Stansfield in the middle, cut back to Roberts on the edge of the D, through to Dux, and it's just wide of goal. Roberts nearly picking a perfect pass again. Lovely flowing counter-attack from Birmingham City. Dux on the end of it. And has that hit the outside of the post before going wide? It was certainly very close.
Yeah, it was close. I can't quite work out from our angle, Joe, whether it's the outside of the post or the back of the stanchion on the net. But yet again, on Birmingham City attack, it's coming through their left-hand side, the Coventry right, and it's because Van Ewijk going forward, and I know he brings so much ability and is a player that I really like going forward, but he's created issues today for his team because he keeps getting caught out of position, and maybe that's something that the midfield needs to deal with as well, because if you know that your full-backs are going, then you need to give your team protection, and it's not quite working for Coventry as yet.
Well, an exciting and enthralling first 28 minutes as Rodoni delivers the cross, left-footed, header away by Robinson from the centre of the penalty area for Birmingham. Coventry all in luminous orange from right to left in the first half. The tall Kitching, centre half, has possession. Everybody inside the Birmingham half, bar goalkeeper Rushworth, but ironic cheers from the Blues fans, the Birmingham fans, as Kitching for the Sky Blues has knocked it straight out of play. And had a very good spell, Coventry, after they equalised through Eccles, but particularly now Birmingham have gone 2-1 up again. Doesn't really feel like Coventry have got much rhythm in their play, Courtney Sweetman-Kerr.
No, it's definitely not the same level of reaction that they had to conceding the first goal, but I think we've got to give that credit as well to Birmingham City in terms of the way that they've been playing, the confidence that they've obviously gotten from that second goal and how they're exploiting the weaknesses and learning and adapting as they go along. And you will always have an idea of a game plan as you go into a game, but sometimes you've got to find it as you go along, and you feel it as a player. And I think that's what Birmingham City are doing today. They're feeling the issues that Coventry are having. They're seeing it on the pitch, and they're taking control.
Birmingham just a different beast on home soil. They've lost 6 of their last 7 away from home, have Birmingham City, but only 1 defeat in 37 over the last 2 seasons on this ground. Great sliding challenge by Jack Robinson on the far side, the left, on Ellis Sims. Out of play it goes at the expense of a Coventry throw, and here comes Van Ewijk again from a more familiar right-wing position to take the throw.
I'm just thinking, Joe, as Sims went down that right-hand side, and the time that at 1-1 he gets the better of Robinson and doesn't cut it back, and you're just thinking there, the small margins, the elements in the game where if they go 2-1 up, it's obviously very different.
Van Ewijk is going to deliver in here, hurls it long towards the near post, up went Kitching, only half cleared away, hit by Grimes, takes a deflection from the edge of the penalty area, and Birmingham smuggle it clear with Iwata up to the halfway line. Grimes, the captain, wins it back, little chip down the inside left, header away by Roberts for Birmingham. Coventry go back to the halfway line. De Silva back from suspension today. Left back, the number 3, wonderful left foot. Former Bristol City and Charlton Athletic player. Now the ball is at the feet of Grimes again. Grimes looking up in the freezing conditions. Forward to Rodoni, tall in the middle of midfield. Back to Grimes again. Birmingham with plenty of blue shirts behind the ball, but Rodoni's delivered a lovely cross, only half headed away by Robinson. Straight to the feet of Eccles, and now back it goes to Van Ewijk. Eccles right corner of the penalty area, tries the cross, and that's charged down by Dux. Determined defending from Birmingham City with half an hour gone.
Yeah, they're doing well there. Making it very difficult in terms of the wide areas. They're defending the box, then if it gets in the box, they're defending the goal, which is the 2 phases that you think about when you're defending. But just watching Van Ewijk, he keeps faffing about with his gloves. He keeps putting them on and taking them off for the throw. Just take them off. He
had 1 glove on, 1 glove off a moment ago. Now both are off, and it's another free kick to Coventry this time, away on the far side, a yard or so infield from the right-hand touchline. As we look at it, the left-hand side for Birmingham City. Grimes is over it again. Coventry, who are the set-piece kings by a distance in the Championship, as well as the leading scorers, have sent Kitching and Thomas forward for this. Got a great away record, Coventry, but they're 2-1 down today. Delivered in by Grimes, headed away. This time by Dux for Birmingham, and nudged backwards by Sakamoto into his own half. Rushworth in the multicoloured goalkeeping top will come forward to play it through to Grimes. Grimes drives the ball high and long, and it's skimmed off the head of Roberts. He was fouled by Kitching, and it's a free kick to Birmingham City, midway inside their own half of the field.
That's perfect, isn't it, for Birmingham in terms of halting the momentum of Coventry, just having that moment to regroup. But I think the way they've approached this game, Birmingham, obviously aside from conceding, has been excellent, and they're playing Coventry at their own game at the moment. They know that they're going to flood bodies forward. They want to be in possession, but they've been lethal on the counter-attack, Birmingham.
MK Dons 1, Chesterfield 0 is the latest score in League 2. Callum Patterson, a good player at that level, has put MK Dons, Paul Warne's team, in front. A host of postponements in League 2. Only 2 games have survived. The other latest scored Cheltenham 0, Crawley Town 0. Everything else is off. Away on the edge of the penalty area for Birmingham City is Kumas, blocked off by Mason Clark, who will hoist the ball clear and away from danger for Coventry for now. Back in by Beadle, who pumps it high and long, the Birmingham goalkeeper into the area, and Stansfield on the volley has sliced it wide. Headed out invitingly to Jay Stansfield, who is a terrific footballer, great striker of the ball. And Rushworth was slightly out of position, but he got underneath it, and it's gone way over the bar. Yeah,
I'll be disappointed, Stansfield, that he doesn't make more of that, as you say, because he's a fantastic footballer and a good technician. Just gets underneath that one, completely slices it over the bar. It spins over. It's got loads of backspin on it as it flies over the bar of Rushworth.
Was out of position but didn't have to make the save. Meanwhile, Coventry at the other end with Rodoni right corner of the penalty area. Lincoln 1, Peterborough 1 is the latest score. Rico Hackett with the goal. Underway at Ellen Road, live on Talksport right now. Leeds 0, Manchester United 0. Make sure you download our free app and you can swipe between both stations. Coventry work the ball to the left and De Silva. Back to Kitching. Coventry City 2-1 down, the league leaders. Grimes in towards Sims, who misses his kick. Right-footed on the volley. Delightful fizzer of a cross by Matt Grimes. Sims, the number 9, a little sloppy, swung at it, right-footed, and I think kicked through thin air there, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk.
Yeah, he should do better. Yes, it's got a lot of pace on the ball, but just from the angle of where the ball is hit, it has to. It's about probably 35, 40 yards out, so has to have that whip on it to get into Sims. That it does. It's literally placed on his foot, but completely misjudges it. Very similar, actually, in terms of the technique he'd be looking for than the Dutch goal earlier. It's just in terms of the delivery, Wagner's one, it was different because of the angle of it. He just manages to almost pop it over, whereas there had to be a lot of pace on that one for Ellis Sims.
Well, one back by Eccles midway inside his own half for Coventry, and then a foul by Wagner on Sakamoto. Referee James Linnington races across, but I don't think there's going to be any punishment for Wagner. Not even a talking to, really. It was a mistimed challenge, but no intent in the tackle. A busy midweek of Premier League football to come for you across the Talksport network. Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, including West Ham against Nottingham Forest on Tuesday night on Talksport. Arsenal against Liverpool on Thursday, again live over on Talksport. Here on your home of the EFL, it's Birmingham 2, Coventry 1. Miscue by Eccles, 10 yards shy of halfway, but he recovers to carry the ball over the halfway line, and he's felled by Dux. That'll be a free kick to Coventry City. And Dux, is he going to get a yellow card? He is. And the Birmingham fans not happy with that. Maybe it's one challenge too many.
Yeah, I think for me that's a little bit harsh. It could well be the fact, as you've mentioned, Joe, is accruing challenges more than anything, but I didn't think he'd made that many challenges for that one to tot up to be the one for the yellow. Or maybe it's the fact it's so cynical, the way that it's a pullback, there's no attempt to meet the ball, so maybe that's why.
We're in the 37th minute here, and Coventry on the attack following the free kick that resulted. Sakamoto with the red boots on, reverse ball, Van Ewijk dead ball line, loads of time to cross, hits Robinson. Wasn't the best delivery from Van Ewijk, but he's won a corner out of it anyway.
Yeah, that's important for Coventry, but I would expect a little bit better from Van Ewijk in that situation. Had a lot of time to look up, try and find a teammate, and just hits it straight at Robinson.
Still QPR 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0 elsewhere in the Championship this lunchtime. Games at Sheffield United and Portsmouth called off because of the weather. Delivery in by Grimes, left-footed, right underneath the crossbar. Brave header away, and Paik was caught inside the penalty area, and Birmingham have got themselves a free kick.
Yeah, I think it's Sims initially that they're looking for at the front post area. He starts quite in close to the goalkeeper, sort of near enough on the line, and comes back out. I don't think it's actually Sims that catches Paik. It's difficult to see. I think it's actually Kitching who catches him in the face. They're wrestling to try and get some freedom.
Well, even taking into account Birmingham's home form, Courtney, they were hammered at Watford in their last match over the busy festive period. They've had a chastening defeat at Sheffield United of late as well, without a win in 7 in the league. This has been an excellent first 38 minutes for them.
Yeah, I thought they'd be competitive, Birmingham City, no doubt about that, because of the home form that we've mentioned. I didn't expect them to be 2-1 up at this point, but they've been fully deserving of it.
Excellent Championship game so far. Mason Clark down by the corner flag, and his last touch is enough to carry the ball behind. And it's a goal kick to Birmingham City, for whom James Beadle, the goalkeeper, has not had a serious save to make since the Coventry equaliser. That was followed by Koumas's goal. Well taken to put Birmingham City 2-1 in front. Quite a lot of movement in the stands at the moment. Birmingham fans heading for the concourses, which is totally understandable, I think, given just how cold it is today. But I don't think the pitch, barring a couple of nervy moments for Rushworth, the Coventry goalkeeper early on, has had any impact in the game, I'm pleased to say. As Grimes volleys the ball forward for Coventry, and the defender Neumann looked like he'd misjudged that for a moment, manages to get the right side of Sims, but then it's given away by Iwata. Sims on the edge of the penalty area, gangly feet to nudge it back to Eccles. Eccles goes down on the edge of the D. No foul by Robinson. Sakamoto there to win it back for Coventry, who are still on the attack. Grimes out to the left. Rodoni's inside the area. Jack Rodoni with a very tight angle, and he's trying to nudge it back to De Silva, who gives it back to Rodoni. Very tight area, gets the cross in, header away, Grimes on the volley, and that's well handled by Beadle.
Yeah, I mean, it's straight at him, don't get me wrong, but it's coming through bodies, could easily take a little bit of a deflection, and it actually does skip up off the turf just in front of Beadle, so he'll feel happy to save that one, give him a little bit of confidence back compared to the one he conceded.
It's good handling from the goalkeeper, isn't it? Because, as you say, it bounces right in front of him. Well, we know how good a ball striker Matt Grimes is. It's a very clean strike. Maybe either side of the goalkeeper, there would have been an even bigger problem. Yeah,
I think so. I think the direction of the ball certainly helps Beadle.
5 minutes of the first half to go. Birmingham 2, Coventry 1. Koumas slips it left to Dux, who is offside. Have to say, he did look offside at first glance. Was Kitching playing him on? I don't think so, Courtney. We've got monitors above the commentary position, but I think he was a yard or so off.
Yeah, I think so. But again, a recurring issue for Coventry in terms of getting caught out down their right-hand side. He tries as he might, Dux, to stay on side. He sort of opens up his body, he's looking across the line, but yeah, right decision by the assistant.
That's the former Sheffield United striker Courtney Sweetman-Kirk with us in the commentary box today. On Talksport 2, just to the right of the halfway line, as another heavy touch for Sims, sees the ball bounce off his right foot and out of play. He's got a tough assignment today, Ellis Sims, up against both Neumann and Robinson, but he's been a bit clumsy looking with the way that he's approached the game so far, I think.
Yeah, every time sort of the ball falls to his feet, it looks like he can't seem to sort his feet out, which on one or two occasions you understand and you accept if it comes at you quickly or you're trying to find your rhythm in the game. But you're right, it just doesn't quite seem set every time the ball comes to him. And whether that's his movement and he feels sluggish, or whether he's not expecting the balls into him and there's a lack of fluidity. It's hard to tell.
Coventry today aiming to avoid a third straight game without a win for the first time this season. They're 2-1 down, and they're not having it their own way against Birmingham City as they look to play the ball out of the defensive third. Forward by Thomas to Van Eyck. They did it well there, Coventry. Van Eyck just carries the ball, trundles over halfway, square ball back to Grimes. Grimes has dipped in between the two central defenders and plays it to his right, and Eccles over the halfway line. Coventry 2-1 down. We're in the 42nd minute. Away on the right for them is Sakamoto. Thinks about the reverse ball, left-footed, plays it back to Grimes. 25 yards out. Works it wide again to the far side. Delivered in high by Eccles. Good goalkeeping by Beadle. Inside his 6-yard box. Bravely dived at the feet of Sims and got there first.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Exactly what you want your goalkeeper to come and do, to command their area. You're right in terms of Sims on rushing. There must be that feeling out the corner of his eye, Beadle, where he thinks I could get clattered here, but nonetheless comes and collects it extremely well.
Very unusually, two goalkeepers on loan today, and on loan from the same club, both from Brighton and Hove Albion. And it'll be interesting to see if, certainly if Coventry go up, I'm sure they will try to sign Rushworth on a permanent basis, because we know, Courtney, there's a big queue to get to the number one spot at Brighton, but Coventry have maybe the best in the Championship in Rushworth.
Yeah, I would say so. I think there's a shout for Johansson at Stoke as well.
And this Sims, meanwhile, for Coventry into the penalty area now. Up against Robinson. He's held up and he's had to flick the ball back rather aimlessly. And in the way is the blue shirt of Doyle, who looks to set Kumas away on the counter. Birmingham maybe a bit over-eager there. Coventry win it back. Less than 2 minutes of normal time remaining in the first half. But again, Ellis Sims didn't really convince in an attacking area.
I know, it's like when he receives the ball, he's figuring it out what he's going to do with it when the ball is at his feet. Normally, in an ideal world, you want to have that awareness of what's around you. So when you do receive the ball, you know exactly what you're going to do. But every time Sims seems to receive it at the moment, it's like he's sort of making it up on the fly, and before he knows it, he gets dispossessed.
Still Leeds 0, Manchester United 0 over on Talksport right now. That game kicked off half an hour later than we did. Forward by Kitching for Coventry. Angled pass out to the left. Efren Mason-Clark, the former Peterborough man, back to Kitching again. Birmingham sitting very deep here. Last minute of normal time at the end of the first period. Added time on the way. Thomas with the angled ball out to the right. Sakamoto 1-on-1 against Wagner. Heads for the dead ball line. Good work by Wagner. Sliding in to win it back. And already in an area where Birmingham, we were told by Tom Wagner, were looking to strengthen. Kai Wagner, who's come in, has done an excellent job in that left-back position on his debut so far. Yeah,
he's looked brilliant both sides of the game. In possession, obviously early on, providing the assist, but out of possession, your defenders, you want them to defend first, in my opinion. I know that's not always the way in the modern game, but he's looked very astute 1v1. He's looked composed on the ball when he does win it back. He's had an impressive start to his Birmingham City career so far.
Yeah, very buoyant with his comments upon joining the club yesterday, and you're absolutely right. He said, yes, I do like to get forward, but the defensive side of the game is just as important to me. They actually do have a host of left-backs at the club, Birmingham City, but Wagner has certainly got that spot occupied for now. 4 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. Birmingham 2, the leaders, Coventry 1. Coventry will still be 8 points clear, but Middlesbrough can close the gap later, live on Talksport 2 when they take on Southampton. Ball out to the left-hand side towards Mason-Clark for Coventry. He's kept it in away on the near side of the field. He drives towards the penalty area beyond Iwata with a couple of step-overs. Low ball in, comes back to Mason-Clark. Hammered away at the near post by Neumann, and then Mason-Clark all over the back of Iwata. And it's a free kick to Birmingham City. It was pinball in the area for a moment.
46 minutes in. And I spoke about this in the first minute in terms of Mason-Clark versus Iwata and what he should be doing and getting at him. And we finally see it. Mason-Clark on the ball, using his pace, silky skills as well. The step overs, the drop of the shoulder, and he gets past Iwata far too easily. But then it's about finding that composure to find a teammate in the box. There's a little tug of a shirt actually on Mason-Clark by Iwata, but sort of lets go quick enough. We know referees are looking for that prolonged contact, and he just does enough to let go quickly enough, Iwata.
And to be clear about the top of the table, Coventry 52 points, Ipswich 44 points, their game at Portsmouth postponed today, Middlesbrough 43 points. So if Borough beat Southampton, live on Talksport 2 at 3 o'clock, and it stays like this here, there'll only be 6 points between Middlesbrough and Coventry City. So it's a reminder to Coventry, isn't it, Courtney, that it's so far from done yet in the Championship. There is a long way to go.
Yeah, and look, they deserve to be where they were, Coventry, in terms of the points that they accrued. But no, it's not a done job by any stretch of the imagination. Like you say, you talk about Borough, Ipswich, his game's been postponed, so you'd rather have the points on the board, but again, they'll look at that and feel they can claw them back. And I think Ipswich are the real threats at the moment. They've got the best side in the Championship, in my opinion. We said that from the start. For whatever reason, it didn't click into gear, but they're going to give it a right good go in the second half of the season, believe me.
Lincoln 3, Peterborough 1 in League One. Couple of late goals at the end of the first half for Lincoln, who were 1-0 down. We're halfway through 4 minutes of added time here in the first half. Birmingham 2, Coventry 1. MK Dons 2, Chesterfield 0 is the latest score. Coventry go back to goalkeeper Rushworth, who hammers the ball into the sky. Bright blue sky overhead. One of those classic January days, winter's days, where it's nice and sunny but freezing cold. And now just over a minute of added time remaining as Coventry get a throw. De Silva gets it back square from Grimes and has to hook it back over his shoulder into his own half, kitching on the retreat. Back to goalkeeper Rushworth again. Rushworth with a first-time pass to the right-back position. They don't quite look comfortable, Coventry, playing out of the defensive third at times. Birmingham pressing them high, forcing Rushworth to go long, and it's over the head of Van Eyck and out of play. And Birmingham, I think, have just about deserved their lead, and it looks like they are going to lead at half-time, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk.
Yeah, they have, but great pressing again from Birmingham City. Yes, Coventry don't look comfortable, but there's a reason for that. You see a lot of teams sit off Coventry and let them play the ball around the back, whereas Birmingham, when it's right, they don't always do it, but when it's right and they feel that they can go and attack them and they've got the right distances, they go and they make it very difficult.
Oh, we've nearly had the 4 minutes of added time. Lots of Birmingham fans in front of us in one of the VIP sections. They're heading for the warm lounges down below. Thomas, mud on the back of his orange shorts, has nearly given it away to Stansfield, and the Birmingham fans absolutely love that. Good work by Stansfield to force a Birmingham throw.
It's odd though from Bobby Thomas, because he can go back to his goalkeeper, can turn to his right as he initially does and just play it back with his left foot. He doesn't try to be too clever and get out down the right hand side, and next thing you know, it's a Birmingham City ball.
And Jack Robinson will come forward to take the Birmingham long throw, far side there left in front of the Coventry fans at the Gilmerick end of the stadium. Birmingham 2, Coventry 1. We've had the 4 minutes of added time. Long towards Neumann. The ball bounces towards the edge of the penalty area. Ellis Sims will scoop it clear for Coventry, and that's half time. And the league leaders are behind as Frank Lampard marches down the touchline. Coventry stuttering again, and they have work to do against a Birmingham team who are closing the gap on the playoffs to just 6 points. Marvin Duksh with a well-taken opener on the volley. Josh Eccles with an almost instant equaliser. But Lewis Kumas, the son of Jason Kumas, dancing round the goalkeeper and rolling it over the line to put Birmingham back in front at Fortress St Andrews. Half-time, Birmingham 2, Coventry 1.
Joe Shannon, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, thank you very much indeed. Courtney, what a first half of football, particularly the opening 20 minutes. Yeah,
it's brilliant. I think we predicted goals, maybe didn't predict them that quickly and that many within this game. But yeah, for the neutrals, obviously the spectacle's been brilliant. If you're a Birmingham City fan, even better. Not so much for the Coventry fans so far. And Birmingham, good value for that lead at half-time. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I think they deserved it. There's been moments where they've looked penned in at times, but I think they've dealt with it really well. I've been impressed with the defending, and then the way that they've played on the counter-attack, they've made it very difficult for Coventry. Are there elements where Coventry haven't played to their potential? 100%. I think at times they've looked terrible on the ball, quite frankly, and they've looked rushed, but there's there's sometimes where that's of their own doing, and other moments where, again, you've got to give credit to Birmingham City, the way that they've sent certain moments. Yes, there's been times where they have sat in and let Coventry have the ball, but actually when they've sensed blood, when they've smelt it and sensed the danger for Coventry, they've gone at them on a full press toe-to-toe, and they've made it really difficult for Coventry to play out. And
as entertaining that the first half has been, I suppose what you could say for all 3 goals was defending was fairly optional.
Yeah, definitely. I think Van Eyck, he won't want to watch that first half back again. There's no doubt about that, because I think he's got a big hand in both of the goals in that perspective, and the goalkeeping from Beadle for the Coventry goal. I think he should do better with that. In all honesty, he doesn't move his feet quick enough to get across. Is he unsighted by one of his defenders? Yes, maybe, but he still gets across maybe slightly too slowly, and the bounce doesn't help him either. But I think a goalkeeper of his calibre, you're expecting him to do better with that.
Yeah, and as you pointed out at the time, the Josh Eccles scoring the goal, but the amount of space he was given in the midfield. I mean, no Birmingham player anywhere near him. I actually thought Coventry looked pretty good when they got it back to 1-1, and they had that moment where they should have cut it back in the area. It's those sorts of things at the moment that just aren't quite going right for Coventry. Yeah, you're right in terms of how well Ellis Sims does, and then at that moment you see Radoni, and you're expecting, you're not even thinking that he's got anything else in his mind, Ellis Sims. You're just thinking that's the obvious option. Cut it back. Your teammate is in acres of space, but he doesn't, goes for goal. And you're right, they look the better team at that moment. And I think I said it in comms, if it goes 2-1 there, then it maybe changes the complexion of the game, and whether that's things that, you know, for Coventry, maybe, you know, went right in the first half of the season, where they're scoring lots of goals and different decision making, and then on the back of that, now they're in the run that they are, for whatever reason, you maybe change your decision. You're trying to do too many things instead of doing the basic things right. You're trying to go above and beyond because you feel that you have to for confidence. But yeah, it should have been 2-1 at that point to Coventry, but it wasn't. And you've got to give credit to Birmingham, the way that, you know, they've played today and how clinical they've been in those forward areas. Yeah, there's 2 ways of looking at it, isn't there? It's that they're missing the chances, or that they're still creating them, because we mentioned that where it should have been pulled back in the area, glorious chance at 1-1. But then Sims also had that missed chance around 35 minutes. It would have been a similar finish to the Marvin Duksh one had he been able to take it, but just didn't make any contact. Yeah, and I think we've seen this even at the start of the season from Coventry, and Frank Lampard mentioned it in terms of there's been times where they've missed chances, but not necessarily been fortunate, but they've kept going. They've scored goals, and they've scored multiple, you know, goals. We've seen, you know, 7s, we've seen multiple 4s from Coventry. So Frank Lampard, though, did always say, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. We're in a good moment at the minute, but that can change. But certainly in those forward areas, they're not quite as clinical at the moment as we've seen from them at the start of the season, Coventry, and that's something that needs to change, because goals wins games. Courtney, thanks very much. We'll be back with you and Joe shortly for the second half of this game at half-time. Cheers, Birmingham mate. 2, Coventry 1. Elsewhere, the 12:30 kickoff in the Premier League, Leeds hosting Manchester United. That is currently 0-0. You can listen to that game over on Talksport. And if you've been with us since the start of the coverage, you'd have heard that there were plenty of postponements in the EFL this afternoon. In the other 12 o'clock kickoff that did get underway at half-time, it's QPR 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Sheffield United and Oxford was postponed, and then Portsmouth Ipswich has also been postponed. In League One, Doncaster Rovers against Luton Town, Port Vale against Barnsley, Rotherham against Mansfield, and Stevenage against Leyton Orient have all been postponed. And loads of postponements in League Two. Barnet against Crewe Alexandra, Barrow Bristol Rovers, Bromley Oldham Athletic, Cambridge United and Grimsby Town, Colchester United, Accrington Stanley, Harrogate Town and Swindon Town, Newport County against Tranmere Rovers, Notts County Gillingham, Salford City, Shrewsbury, Walsall and Fleetwood. All postponed. It would have been easier actually if I had just said in League Two that Cheltenham Crawley is 0-0 at half-time and MK Dons lead Chesterfield 2-0 at half-time. Those are the only games going on. So at half-time for our feature game, it's Birmingham 2, Coventry 1. The second half is on the way, plus we're going to look ahead to our 3 o'clock kickoff between Middlesbrough and Southampton. This is EFL Game Day Live on Talksport 2.
Join the Football Collective.
The cool, clinical finish.
EFL Live on Talksport 2.
Will this year bring more trade wars or trade deals? Will revolutions be abroad or in the workplace? The future is uncertain. but the facts shouldn't be. For trusted reporting and in-depth analysis, start your year with a special offer from the Times and Sunday Times of £1 for 4 months. Get all the latest breaking news and subscriber benefits from Times Plus. Visit thetimes.com now for your discounted digital subscription. 18 plus new customers only, T's and C's apply.
Thinking about goals this time of year? Like saving money or buying a new car? Well, right now you can save £3,750 on the all-electric Mini Countryman with the electric car grant. Yep, 2 goals in one and you get more space, more adventure, more Mini than ever. I feel a cheeky little smile coming on. Start living the big life for less and save £3,750 with the electric car grant. Visit mini.co.uk/grant. Grant available for specifications up to £42,000. T's and C's apply.
On day 3 of leftovers for lunch, have a day off. Switch it up with a double cheeseburger for $2.49 on the McDonald's Saver menu.
Leftovers left the chat.
Talk about saver satisfaction. Served from 11 a.m. Price and participation may vary. Fees apply to delivery orders, subject to availability.
Nothing beats that just booked feeling. Because when you book a Jet2 holiday, you start dreaming of pool days and seeing the sights. Get ahead for summer with just a £25 deposit per person for a limited time only. Choose from our best rooms and hotels and save £200 per couple. Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. Package holidays you can trust. After National Protected. £25 deposit available from 19th of December to 12th of January, subject to availability and conditions.
With over 50 years' experience, at Fidelity, we believe there's a difference between investing and being invested. Investing is having access to guidance, tools, and expert insights. Being invested means feeling confident about your future. Investing is choosing from a wealth of investment options. Being invested means focusing on your long-term goals. For ISAs, pensions, or advice, be truly invested with Fidelity. Go to fidelity.co.uk. Your capital is at risk. Terms apply.
Browse safer with NordVPN. Block malware, avoid phishing, and stop annoying online trackers. Get the best deal at nordvpn.com.
Whether you're chasing titles or just that first 180, there's a place for you at the Yockey. And at Target, we design the darts, boards, and tech that take every player further. From precision-engineered barrels trusted by the world's best like Stephen Bunting and Luke the Nuke Littler to our next-generation Omni Auto scoring system built to keep your game flowing and your focus where it should be, on the throw. Darts, boards, accessories, smart tech, whatever your level, Target gives you the tools to play better, feel better, and love the game even more. Get on Target. Visit targetdarts.com.
Aqua Uniprimer is made by us, Dulux Trade.
And approved by professional painters like me and you.
It's made to get a grip on all major surfaces.
From wood to metal, tiles to UPVC, inside or out, you name it, this stuff sticks.
And it's made to be recoat ready in 60 minutes.
So we can get the job done.
Dulux Trade Aqua Uniprimer. It's made by us.
And approved by you. And me.
Put it to the test. Try Dulux Trade Aqua Uniprimer today.
Hard-hitting football coverage.
He hits it first time. What a volley, what a goal.
Pushing the apex of live football.
And it's in.
EFL Live on Talksport 2.
You're listening to EFL Game Day Live on Talksport 2, where at half-time it's Birmingham 2, Coventry 1. We'll bring you second-half commentary very shortly, but following that game, we're going to bring you a match between two of the out-of-form sides in the Championship. Middlesbrough hosts Southampton. Before we have a chat with Mark Wilson, your commentator for that game, just wanted to bring you this statement from Sheffield United. We've mentioned in our coverage already today that their 12 o'clock kickoff against Oxford was postponed. A part of the pitch at Bramall Lane was frozen. And Sheffield United have released this statement. They've said they're extremely disappointed the fixture could not go ahead. In the build-up to the game, our pre-match procedures for forecasted low temperatures were followed. That included the use of undersoil heating. This morning, a small section of the playing surface was raised as a cause for concern. With this area still part frozen, all attempts were made to address that section of the pitch for it to meet the standard required for the match to go ahead. The referee was then called at the earliest possible opportunity to assess the playing surface, and after the inspection he deemed there to be a player safety concern, and so the fixture was called off at 10 a.m. Reading between the lines there, the suggestion from Sheffield United potentially that they would have been able to have that pitch ready to play on. We shall wait and see if there's any more fallout from that. But it has been a day impacted by the weather. Loads of postponements across the EFL. I must admit, I wondered whether Middlesbrough Southampton was going to be one of them in the northeast. But let's head up to chat to our commentator there, Mark Wilson. Mark, game on.
Yeah, definitely. Good afternoon, Alfie. There's snow on the ground outside. It's a picturesque scene as you come up because it's a lovely sunny day, blue skies. It's very cold as you'd expect, but the pitch, I'm looking down at it now, looks pretty good to be fair, and there's certainly no concern from anyone. There's no ground staff working on it, so we are game on and good to go. But as you said, two teams that maybe would wish to be in better form at the start of the new year.
I was going to say both of them, Mark, real stuttering form at this moment in time.
Yeah, they are. I mean, somewhat surprising. I watched Borough quite a few times pre-Christmas, and they were on a great run of form. The new manager came in, they carried on winning, and all of a sudden hit a bump in the road, and they've stopped scoring goals. I always felt for Borough that over the year goals would be a problem for them. They create chances, they don't always take the most of them, and that I think is their Achilles heel. For Southampton, scored in every away game coming here. Borough have only kept 4 clean sheets at home, so despite the fact that we've got two teams that haven't won recently, I think we could be in for a decent contest today.
And Borough have dropped out of the top 2. They could go back into the top 2 because Ipswich's game against Portsmouth is one of those that has been postponed. I mean, how do you see the race for the automatic spots at the moment? Coventry, despite their drop in form, are still way out in front. It seems Ipswich are viewed as the real danger.
Yeah, I think they've emerged, haven't they, after a slow start to the season. I think for Borough, if you would have offered them this position after 25 games, they would have taken it hands down. I think for me, for Middlesbrough, what happens in the next 4 weeks in the transfer window is going to be key. Can they keep their key players? Can they get 1 or 2 through the door? I think they certainly need some more attacking threat, and if they can get that, I think they've got a group of players that should be good enough to stay in the top 6 at the very least. But it's so tight. I'm looking at the table now. Borough, they're only 3 points clear of Millwall in 7th all of a sudden, so they need to be careful, and I think a positive January could lead to a positive outcome for the Borough.
No, good stuff. Looking forward to it, Mark. We'll speak to you later on in our build-up.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Top man. It's going to be Adrian Clark alongside Mark for that game. 3 o'clock kickoff, Middlesbrough against Southampton. In the game that's about to get underway in the second half, it's Birmingham 2, Coventry 1 here on Talksport 2. And this is the story of the opening 45 minutes.
And good morning to you from a bright and cold St Andrews, over halfway through the championship season, and the promotion picture is ever-changing. Birmingham on the attack in towards Dux in the area! What a finish! Right-footed on the volley, it's a brilliant goal!
He just passes it with power into the back of the net, and it's a really good start from Birmingham.
Here they come with Eccles, 25 yards out. Eccles with a curling shot, he's equalised straight away. That is the response of league leaders and potential champions. Roberts, great reverse ball through here for Kumas, round the goalkeeper and scores. Birmingham back in front.
The goal is excellent. Love this from Roberts. The weight of pass, but the run from Kumas is immaculate, but yet again the defending from Coventry City is very, very poor.
Yeah, entertaining opening half here on Talksport 2. Birmingham 2, Coventry 1. All the goals coming early on in the contest. What do we have in store in the second half? It feels big this already. End of this festive fixture period. Coventry top of the table, been brilliant in 2025, but they're just having that little dip in form. We feel this is a big 45 minutes for Frank Lampard, and Birmingham, well, their owners this week underlined their expectations to push for the playoffs. They lead 2-1. Let's get back to your commentary team, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk and Talksport's Joe Shannon.
Thank you, Alfie. Birmingham have kicked off the second half. No changes for either team. Birmingham from right to left, all in royal blue. Coventry from left to right, all in bright orange. And the leaders need to improve, because otherwise Middlesbrough in third will have the chance to close the gap on Coventry to just 6 points when they take on Southampton later, live on Talksport 2. As you've been hearing, Ipswich won't play today because their game against Portsmouth at Fratton Park has fallen foul of the weather. Match postponed. Leeds 0, Manchester United 0 late in the first half over on Talksport. We are right at the start of the second period here, and a free kick for Birmingham, lofted long by the goalkeeper Beadle, and the header only half away by Kitching hit the back of Neumann, and then they're deflected back into the Coventry area, but there's an offside spotted by the assistant referee. And Coventry have a free kick now. The Birmingham goalkeeper is Beadle. Iwata, Neumann, Robinson and Wagner. Doyle and Paik. Roberts, Stansfield and Kumas behind Duksh up front. Duksh and Kumas, the Birmingham goal scorers. I'll give you the Coventry team in a moment, but here is Mason Clark marauding infield from the left-hand side. Then back out wide away from Iwata. Mason Clark steers the ball backwards, and it's turned behind rather stutteringly by a sliding Neumann for a Coventry corner right at the start of the second half. The Coventry team just quickly. Rushworth in goal. Van Ewijk, Thomas, Kitching and De Silva. Grimes and Eccles, Sakamoto, Redoni and Mason Clark behind Sims up front. We'll get a word from Courtney Sweetman-Kirk in just a moment. On actually a very bright and sunny day, but a very chilly day as well. Grimes with the corner for Coventry towards Kitching. Mason Clark in there. The Coventry fans wanted handball momentarily, and the ball has bounced off Thomas. It trickles towards the dead ball line. He surely shoved Robinson there. It was a silly foul by Kitching, and a free kick to Birmingham, who lead Coventry by 2-1 with 2 minutes into the second half. And here is Courtney Sweetman-Kirk.
I think you can tell that the Coventry players have had a few choice words from Frank Lampard. It's been a good start to the second half from them, and Mason Clark starting down that left-hand side and getting past Iwata once more, and something that I definitely want to see more from him in the second half, because I think it's an opportunity for Coventry to exploit Birmingham down that right-hand side, but it wasn't done nearly enough in the first half.
Well, we have another Midlands encounter for you tomorrow night on Talksport 2 as Leicester take on West Brom in the Championship, with both head coaches there under pressure, Marty Cifuentes and Ryan Mason. Leicester in particular after another very difficult period of results for Cifuentes. And Coventry 2-1 down at Birmingham here at St Andrews. Sakamoto infield from the right-hand side for Coventry, teases it back to Grimes. Grimes, the captain, just forward of the edge of the centre circle. Frank Lampard watches on, looking up into the sunshine from right in front of us here, where only about 20 rows of seats from the edge of the pitch. Ball is chipped into the path of Van Ewijk. First time cross hit Wagner and steered out of play by Robinson. And you're absolutely right, Courtney. Coventry are dominant territorially early on here.
Yeah, they look so much better. More composure on the ball as well. Don't seem to be as sloppy with it. And see Van Ewijk again with the ball. Even though it's such a short run-off around the pitch here at St Andrews, it's still such a good throw that he will hammer this one into the box.
If Coventry were to turn it around, they could go 11 points clear of Ipswich in second. Long throw by Van Ewijk is headed away, only as far as De Silva, who shepherds it backwards to Rushworth. Rushworth all in black with a multicoloured goalkeeping shirt. High ball downfield up the inside left, chasing is Ellis Sims, and he nearly beat Iwata to it. Iwata had to make sure he didn't give a foul away there. In the end, he nudges it behind in front of 2,000 Coventry fans for a Coventry corner. 5 minutes into the second half, and Birmingham lead 2-1, but they barely had a touch of the ball yet, Birmingham City.
Yeah, they're under pressure massively, and all these set pieces for Coventry, the odds will say that they'll put one away sooner rather than later.
Grimes out swinging delivery, looping high towards Sims, and that's a header clean over the bar. And that feels like a chance missed, even though he was under the watchful eye of Kumas, I think it was, Wagner perhaps, who was marking him. Sims couldn't keep the effort down there.
Yeah, I think he gets the timing of his jump wrong, because where he meets the ball is completely underneath it. Whereas if he just starts that a little bit later, he can come and meet the ball full on, and it's a good opportunity for a player that scored so many goals this season.
8 goals for the campaign for Ellis Sims, scored on New Year's Day in the disappointing draw at Charlton Athletic. Here is Sakamoto skipping down the right, fouled by Wagner. That'll be a yellow card, surely. Cynical foul in the right wing position. Wagner takes the booking, and Coventry have a free kick in another dangerous area.
There's no doubt about that one, right in front of the assistant, and I know that Sakamoto is so wonderful on the ball because he's got that agility, low centre of gravity, moves the ball quickly, not necessarily rapid in terms of pace, but the way that he moves with the ball, he has this ability just to glide past players, and he draws Wagner in for the challenge there, who gets him quite high actually. Certainly a yellow card.
Middlesbrough v Southampton in the Championship at 3, in another game involving two potential promotion contenders. Middlesbrough starting the day in 3rd, but at the moment they could close the gap to 6 points on Coventry with a win. Coventry 2-1 down. Grimes with a deep free kick into the area, and it's too close to Beadle. Easily gathered by the goalkeeper in green, and a quick throw out over the top. Not a good throw towards Iwata, overhit, and De Silva will win it back for Coventry. Takes a quick throw away towards Radoni on the far side of the left, and Radoni has only succeeded in smuggling the ball straight out of play. I'll give you the two sets of subs as well. For Birmingham, Allsop, Kyogo, Wright, Williamson, Samsted, Fujimoto, Mazwi, Cashin and Iziche. And the Coventry bench, Wilson, Wright, Bidwell, Latabodiere, Wolfenden, Brow, Perry, Shepherd and Andrews. Not a great deal in terms of attacking reinforcements for Coventry today. No Thomas Asante, no Torp. And this is the period, isn't it, Courtney, where squads all around the country, even if you're top of the league, can start to look a bit stretched.
Yeah, and I think, Thomas Asante, 10 goals, massive miss with that hamstring injury. So that's where you probably are. I think we mentioned it at the top of the show in the build-up, didn't we, for reinforcements, despite scoring so many goals. Coventry, Haji Wright sort of been in and out recently as well, so sort of either getting them two back as quickly as possible or adding reinforcements in January, I think, will be a top priority for Coventry.
All Coventry at the moment from left to right in the second half, but they still trail 2-1. Low shot from Mason Clark is gathered by Beadle away to his right. I think he saw it late there, the goalkeeper, because at first glance he was actually a bit slow to plunge down to his right and grab that, but holds on to it before Sims could maybe have a go at the rebound. And now Birmingham on the counter at the other end with Kumas, but he is in an offside position. And the way the game is going, Courtney, you feel that if not a goal, a big chance for Coventry is coming.
Yeah, I think it will be imminent. They've taken complete control of this second half. That being said, I think when Coventry have been in control, Birmingham have scored against the run of play, so we know they are dangerous on the counter-attack, but this is certainly more sustained from Coventry. Birmingham have barely been in the Coventry half so far in the second half.
One defeat in 37 home games coming into today. Birmingham City this season against Hull. And that was a game that Chris Davis will feel his team probably shouldn't have lost. Won League One with 111 points last season. Coventry not in the Premier League since 2001. Foul on Mason Clark. The league leaders have another free kick, this time in the left wing position, and they'll be hoping that Grimes' delivery is a lot better than the free kick that he took from pretty much the same position but the opposite side of the field.
They'll be disappointed, Coventry, to be honest, with the amount of chances they've had so far from set pieces, that they've not put one of those away.
Leeds 0, Manchester United 0 into first half stoppage time at Ellen Road. Live on Talksport. Just download our free app to be across it all. Grimes will take the free kick for Coventry. One arm into the air, left-footed fizzer into the near post, only half away, could drop to the edge of the area, and Sakamoto hacked further clear by Stansfield, and there is a Birmingham player down in the penalty area. And there's clearly some seriousness about the injury, because the referee wants the physios on straight away. I think it's Sung Ho Paik who's gone down. He's got a nasty cut to his forehead, and he is going to need some immediate treatment here, and the game is rightly stopped.
Yeah, rightly so. Blood all over his face. The Birmingham City players aren't happy. I think they felt that the referee didn't stop it nearly quickly enough, but I think it's difficult there for the ref, because he's trying to keep up with the players. The ball goes outside the box. He probably doesn't realise that Pake's gone down, but nonetheless, player safety is paramount. Just wondering if the players are arguing about the initial contact, whether they think that was a foul and should have been seen by the referee, but hopefully he'll be okay. Pake, he might not be able to continue, depending. They might stitch it or glue it if they can, or the old Terry Butcher might be the case.
Well, it's Birmingham with the advantage here. QPR still lead Sheffield Wednesday by a goal to nil. Elsewhere in the Championship, we have Middlesbrough against Southampton at 3 o'clock on Talksport 2, and on the big screens we've just seen a replay of the challenge by Rodoni. High boots on Paik, and it is square into his forehead.
And we'll give Rodoni a little bit of an out here in terms of Paik does also duck to the ball, so it's a difficult one. Is it a high foot? Is it a low head? I think it's quite in between. So I understand why, one, the Birmingham City players are disappointed because they're thinking about their teammate. But I do think that Paik has dipped into the ball.
And I don't think there'll be any punishment for Rodoni after the challenge. Paik is still being treated here. Leicester against West Brom tomorrow night on Talksport 2. Then there's a big midweek of Premier League football. Tuesday night, West Ham against Nottingham Forest on Talksport. Wednesday night, Burnley Man United, Fulham Chelsea and Palace against Villa, all across the network. So make sure you download our free app to be across all of that. And Thursday evening, Arsenal against Liverpool on Talksport, live and exclusive from the Premier League. All the rest of the Premier League games in the midweek, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, are all on our free app. Now, I've seen Willem Williamson looking like he might be about to get ready here for Birmingham City, the man with the long hair. Paik is still being treated and he's being bandaged up, a black bandage around his head, and it looks as though with nearly an hour gone that they are going to try and keep him on. He is going to try and continue. From a Coventry perspective, they've had all the ball, all the territory in the second half, but of course it's a slowing of the momentum in the game for them. Chris Davis, I think, maybe pondering some changes anyway, Courtney.
Yeah, potentially a triple sub there with Williamson, you've mentioned, Kyogo, cash in. So trying to get themselves back into this game, because it's been all about Coventry and their domination so far in this second half, despite them having nothing to show for it. And Paik's up now on his feet. It'll be interesting to see how long he might be able to continue for. Been there as a player, and if you get that cut, but then your eyes start to swell up and it's difficult to see. So we'll sort of have to assess it and see how he goes.
Well, Paik bandaged up, Birmingham temporarily down to 10, but they are going to try and get Paik to continue. A great atmospheric ground, St Andrews. It's really come alive today on a couple of occasions, and the fans are nice and close to the pitch. Forward by Kitching for Coventry as the game resumes. Header away by Robinson. Duksh very deep, midway inside his own half. Lodges it left to Kumas, who's sprinting forward down the near side touchline, trying to take on Van Ewijk. He's done brilliantly here, Lewis Kumas, but in the end Van Ewijk makes a tackle, comes back to Kumas, tries a layoff to Wagner. Out comes Rushworth, and Wagner showing that he's got a good turn of pace, because he was 10 yards short of the ball there and nearly beat Rushworth to it.
Yeah, he does well there, and I think the fact that Grimes comes across, it just gives Rushworth that little bit of a extra second to be able to get out to the ball unchallenged. But as you say, Wagner showing all sides of his game today, the attacking, the speed, the defending, aside from that poor challenge earlier, is performed really well.
Rodoni for Coventry, 25 yards out, forward to Sims, edge of the penalty area, right-footed, low shot, he scored! 2-2! The leaders are level. Ellis Sims picks out the bottom corner, and Coventry will feel they can go on and win it now.
Well, it was coming, Joe. We said it. We felt that the next goal would be a Coventry goal because of all the pressure that they've put on in the first 15 minutes. And Ellis Sims, he does well here. Initially, I don't think his first touch helps him, and the ball gets caught under his feet. Nonetheless, he does get the shot off on the edge of the box. I do wonder if it takes a sizable deflection off Robinson. Doesn't really get behind it too much, Ellis Sims. As I say, because the ball's under his feet, I don't think he hits it with a massive amount of power. We'll get the replay in the minute and the monitor above us, but I do feel like it does take a deflection off Robinson as he's trying to defend the ball. His body shape, Sims, it almost looks like he's going to go the opposite way, trying to open his body out. I think he actually nutmegs Robinson. I don't think it actually gets a touch. I just think it maybe wrong foot speed, because he does look like he's about to open his body out, try and tuck it in the far corner, and then just reverses it back into the near post area.
So 2-2, and Coventry on the attack with Redoni now. Over the halfway line, the Sky Blues have come back to level, and here is Mason Clark, not to get into the path of Sakamoto. 10 yards from the edge of the penalty area, loses the ball. Birmingham prod it clear, upfield to Stansfield, who can't beat Kitching to it, but it's nudged out of play for a throw. Stansfield takes it quickly, back to Roberts. Roberts here, live on Talksport 2, right corner of the penalty area. Back to Iwata, time for the skipper to cross. In towards Dux at the back post. There was a touch there, I thought, off a Coventry defender. Corner, says the referee, at the Tilton Road end. Well, this is exactly why we love the Championship on Talksport 2. Your home of the EFL. Coventry are back level, but immediately Birmingham looking a threat.
Yeah, and I think it's Kitchen that initially gets the touch on it. It's an awkward one for Dutch, because actually he's trying to go and attack the ball, and if he stays where he is, I think this ball comes into him. But he's just trying to gamble, and you know, sometimes as a forward you gamble right and you gamble wrong, and that time it just goes past the front of him.
I'll tell you what that Coventry goal means for the table in just a moment. Corner taken by Tommy Doyle for Birmingham. Header away by the goal scorer Sims. Wagner on the volley, back into the penalty area. Steered away by Redoni. Sims will chase the loose ball, but across comes Paik, back on the field with his head bandaged up to roll it back to the goalkeeper. So Coventry's lead at the top of the Championship is extended now to 9 points above Ipswich, who won't play today because their game against Portsmouth was postponed. Dux for Birmingham has scored! Tight angle past the goalkeeper, and the leaders are behind again. Birmingham out of nothing. Marvin Dux down the inside right. The angle seemed impossible, but he squeezed it beyond Rushworth. Once again, against the run of play, Birmingham City have taken the lead, and Coventry just cannot keep goals out. Birmingham 3, Coventry 2, unbelievable.
This game is the gift that keeps on giving at the minute, Joe. But it has followed a pattern in terms of when Birmingham City seem to be not necessarily out of it, but low on confidence and quite quiet in the game. They then find something from absolutely nowhere. The other story is the game is the poor defending from Coventry City. It's been terrible, to be quite frank. But I love what Jay Stansfield does in the build-up of this. He makes the run down the right and takes De Silva completely out of it, because De Silva follows Stansfield. Then a very, very smart run from Dutch on the blind side of Kitchen. He comes across the front of Thomas behind Kitchen, and then first time just hits it hard and low. There's nothing that Rushworth can do about that. It's an awkward one for him, but great finish from Dux, but the run makes the goal.
Well, it's unbelievable. That's twice Birmingham have gone back in front against the run of play. Aaron Cashin has replaced Lewis Kumas. Dux is on a hat-trick. It's 3-2 to Birmingham. And how will Coventry respond here? I wonder, any complaints about the goalkeeper? Rushworth, should he have saved it?
I think it's a really difficult one, Joe, for goalkeepers in that situation, because when the forward there hits it so quickly and so hard when it's just coming across the front of the goal there. Yeah, I get it, the front post area, you never want your goalkeeper to get beaten there, but I think it's really tough to land that one on Rushworth.
Redoni left corner of the penalty area now, drags a shot wide for Coventry. Well, we surely haven't seen the end of the scoring, but forget what I was saying about Coventry narrowly extending their lead at the top. It's all as you were. Middlesbrough will have the chance to close the gap to 6 points at 3 o'clock on Talksport 2 as it stands. But Courtney, you wouldn't put it past Coventry to come back again?
No, I think this Coventry team has shown throughout the season it's got goals in them, but it will get more difficult now, because it looks like with those changes that Birmingham have changed from a back four into a back five now, so it's going to make it more difficult. Although in terms of Birmingham, it might show less of an attacking intent, and you might be able to push them back a little bit more, but in terms of those bodies around the box, certainly going to be more difficult for Coventry to get shots off.
And Coventry are going to bring on Hadji Wright shortly, just getting some final instructions from Frank Lampard. Leeds 0, Manchester United 0 is a half-time score in the Premier League over on Talksport. Cheltenham 1, Crawley 0 is the latest score, and Lincoln 4, Peterborough 2. goals in quick succession at Lincoln City. Here come Coventry. Sakamoto, the number 7, near side the right, just in front of us. Back to Thomas, square to Grimes, in between the two centre halves. Grimes will nudge it to the left, and Kitching has got De Silva further wide. Kitching appeals the ball infield to Mason Clark. Back to Grimes, a long way out for the shot. He's found De Silva again. De Silva back to Grimes with the first time delivery. Sakamoto coming in. Birmingham scramble it away. Only just. And indeed the referee has put the checkered flag up on the near side of the field. So it is a free kick for offside as Coventry take off Sakamoto and bring on the aforementioned Haji Wright. But he is, as you will know, Courtney, on a real struggle in front of goal. Not scored in his last 12 Coventry appearances.
Yeah, so he could desperately do with one, and I certainly think, it might not be him, but in general for this game and for Coventry, there's another goal in this. Coventry have got the ability to score goals, quite frankly, obviously so of Birmingham at the moment. It'd just be interesting to see how they set up here. Coventry brought Radoni, I think, out to the right now, and I think it'll probably in possession look like a forward 2 with Wright and Sims, and Haji Wright, as it stands, just looks like it's sort of out of possession. He's going to sit behind in that 10 role and add to the attack as and when.
Well, how have we got to the final quarter of this game already? Birmingham 3, Coventry 2, and it really has been an absolute thriller in the Championship, and it's maybe not done just yet. Marvin Duksh with the goal that separates the two teams, his second of the match. Long throw for Coventry up to halfway. It's one back in the middle of midfield by Wagner, knocked up towards Jay Stansfield. Header away by Eccles for Coventry, then Sims hooks it onto right. Little back heel to Radoni in the centre circle. De Silva on his outside left. De Silva's ball to Mason Clark, hugging the far side touchline. Mason Clark can't skip beyond Iwata, although Iwata is penalised for what the referee saw as a late challenge and a foul. Free kick Coventry.
He gets caught. It's soft, don't get me wrong, but Mason Clark is clever because he knows the challenge is coming. He brings it back onto his right side, and Iwata does dive in a little bit and make the challenge. I think Mason Clark makes more of it than it actually is, but it's definitely a free kick.
And Matt Grimes is standing over it for the team in luminous orange. Coventry City in front of the away fans. 3-2 behind the league leaders in the Championship. Grimes with the left-footed free kick into the area towards right. Good header away by Neumann from inside the 6-yard box. Can Birmingham break? Stansfield, shy of halfway, rolls the ball forward towards Doyle. There was a nudge in the back of Van Eyck there, but no foul. And a throw to Birmingham City, and they're just trying to slow the game down here, Birmingham. It's been a pretty breathless second half up to this point. And Duksh's goal out of nothing and against the run of play has got Birmingham City into the lead again. A seesaw game, really. Coventry have twice come back to level, but Birmingham in front for a third time. And here is Stansfield looking to maraud down the left, tried to take it beyond Van Eyck, who was there first defensively. The ball has hit Radoni and squeezed out of play for another Birmingham throw. Quickly taken by Wagner. Duksh back to Jay Stansfield, opens up for the shot. Well blocked. Iwata on the rebound, denied by De Silva. Well, another Birmingham goal here would surely kill the game off.
Well, both Stansfield and Iwata hit these balls ever so well. The latter blocked excellently by Jay De Silva. I think both of them are heading goal bound, to be honest. And I love that. Again, the reaction from Birmingham City. I wonder, going into a back five, would that maybe make them drop in and try and soak up the pressure? And I think that would be the wrong decision with 20 minutes left, but they're still showing that attacking intent.
Cheltenham 2, Crawley 0, a latest score. Corner to Birmingham City, who lead 3-2. Delivered in by Wagner, headed away at the near post. The ball will trickle out of play, but the referee had spotted a foul, maybe even a handball. Free kick to Coventry. Birmingham triple change coming up. Kyogo, Sampstead and Williamson all stripped and ready to come on in royal blue. Who's coming off? The first number that is up is that of Wagner. What a debut for Kai Wagner.
Yeah, it's been brilliant from him. I just imagine, the quick turnaround of everything. that's more just trying to protect him in his physical attributes rather than the way he's played, because he's probably been one of, if not Birmingham City's best player today.
The other player leaving the field is Roberts, who's been a bit quieter in the second half. On comes the much taller Willem Williamson, a very different sort of attacking prospect for Birmingham. And Dux on a hat-trick, but he won't get it today. On a yellow card as well. Who knows whether that's the thinking, but it'll be Kyogo for Dux. And Courtney, as a former striker yourself, you'll appreciate it, but how good was Dux in terms of his finishing today?
Yeah, he was so clinical with the opportunities he was given, but also his link of play to everyone else in terms of the way that he can come in, he can drop in, he can set, but then he makes that run back into the box. So he's been brilliant, and you're right, probably him being on the yellow, it might be the reason he's leaving the pitch, because they need the full complement, Birmingham City, if they are to see this out. And what Kyogo does bring at the minute, it's not goals, but he's got that energy, and he will harry that back line and make sure that Coventry back line do not have a minute to rest, and that's what you need when you're trying to see out games in this sort of situation.
Not scored a league goal for Birmingham City, the diminutive Kyogo. Coventry City, the league leaders, 3-2 down. There are 18 minutes plus added time to go at St Andrews on Talksport 2. Chesterfield with a goal back at MK Dons, but they still trail by 2-1. Coventry have it with De Silva, far side the left, infield to Grimes. Coventry have dominated in the second half, but somehow have conceded again. Coventry's defending, I must say, has left a lot to be desired throughout this game. Here is Redoni for Coventry, the number 5. Nudges it backwards, the former Wimbledon man, to the feet of Thomas, and now Kitching. And Grimes on Kitching's outside on the halfway line, forward to Josh Eccles. Eccles has come through the ranks at Coventry, finds Redoni, angled ball to the right, Van Eyck. There are plenty in the middle for Coventry in the orange shirts. Grimes back out wide again. Redoni's got time to deliver. It's a great cross, a diving header away inside the penalty area by Robinson. Birmingham scramble it clear, but they're going to have to do better than that, because Coventry are back on the attack from left to right. Redoni with a chip towards the left. It's over the head of Iwata. Mason Clark will not keep it in play, and Birmingham get a bit of relief and the opportunity to waste away a few seconds. They have a goal kick.
I think Redoni, in this first phase where he puts the ball in, should be very disappointed with his teammates, and you can see him shaking his head, because it's a wonderful ball in. And it needs to be someone, whether it be Wright, whether it be Sims, whether it be one of the attacking midfielders, adding into this and making that darting run across the front post area, because it was far too easy for Birmingham City to clear their lines there.
Well, 11 goals Coventry have managed in the last 15 minutes of games so far this season. The second best record, such record in the Championship, and they're going to need some late goals again here today. 3-2 down at a sunny but very chilly St Andrews. Middlesbrough against Southampton to come at 3 o'clock on Talksport 2. Middlesbrough with the opportunity to close the gap on leaders Coventry to just 6 points, but Southampton are desperate to try and reach the playoffs this season. And still QPR 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0 in the Championship elsewhere today. And they're back underway live on Talksport at Ellen Road, where it's goalless. Here is Redoni for Coventry, tangling with Paik right in front of the two dugouts. Back it goes to Van Eyck, and now Redoni again. Again, Birmingham inviting Coventry forward, but Coventry don't look like scoring at the moment, though there is plenty of attacking quality on the field, as we know. Hadji Wright with his back to goal, turns the defender into the area. Hadji Wright with the shot, well blocked. He looked like scoring there for a moment.
Yeah, he did. This initial bit in terms of the touch and the turn was really sharp, but then just hesitates to get the shot off and allows the Birmingham City to get bodies behind the ball.
Redoni out to Van Eyck. Suddenly he's got time to chip in the delivery. Away on the volley by Williamson. Kyogo gave it straight to Kitching, but he couldn't make anything of it. It's come out to De Silva away on the left. It's attack v defence at the moment. Birmingham deep in their own half. Mason Clark has held on to the ball somehow for Coventry. Hadji Wright into the area again. Wright trying to dribble between three in royal blue. Birmingham really struggling to get it away at the moment. It's a very scrappy passage of play. The leaders have won it back through De Silva. He gets it back from Grimes. There are three in the middle for Coventry in bright orange, waiting for the cross. Hadji Wright teases it back to Grimes. Further wide is De Silva. Lots of time to whip in the delivery. Headed in! No! Goalkeeper's kept it out. It is in by Sims, but there was a foul in the build-up. And it wouldn't have counted anyway, even with Sims netting the rebound. I must say, it was one of the saves of the season by James Beadle. I thought the ball had ended up in the back of the net.
Yeah, I mean, it was brilliant. So it's Bobby Thomas who initially gets to the ball. And this is called as a foul because there's a big push on Jack Robinson in the build-up. But the way that he comes across, heads it down, and you can see from Beadle, it's just pure reactions. It's what goalkeepers work on day in, day out. And he sort of gets the touch on it onto the crossbar. It's a really good follow-up from Sims, but by that point the referee's whistle had already gone.
Well, 3-2 Birmingham, but only just 13 minutes plus added time to go. What a game in the Championship, live on Talksport 2 yet again. Samsted with the ball back to Cashin for Birmingham City. Samsted, the Icelander, has won Birmingham a throw in the left-back position. Well, it really did look like Bobby Thomas had found the back of the net there, but it was spooned away by Beadle, who wasn't to know that the referee had given a free kick anyway.
Yeah, it was one of those where it's quite unorthodox. He almost just palms it upwards onto the crossbar. But as I say, that's what keepers do. Day in, day out, they work on reactions and using shots, the deflections, the different shot maps that they have to exactly for those moments where you've just got to react quickly, and Beadle does ever so well.
How concerned do you think Frank Lampard is at the moment, Courtney, in the context of where Coventry are in the season at the moment?
Yeah, I think the longer a run like this goes on, you're always concerned. You're looking at the table and thinking we're in a good position, and there's no doubt about that. But they can't continue to not put form together and get winning runs. So for me, I know a lot's been said about the forward line. No Thomas Asante, Hadji Wright not particularly performing. But what's worried me for Coventry more than anything today is the defence. I think it's been terrible. There's been mistakes that should be at this level easy to cut out, and they've definitely not looked confident as a back line.
Well, they've still got time, but not a lot of it. About 11 and a half minutes plus added time to go. Birmingham City 3, Coventry City 2. Under the floodlights at St Andrews, not that we really need them, such as the bright blue sky overhead. Grimes square to Thomas in the centre circle. He whips an angled ball towards Van Eyck. It was well read by Samsted, but the ball bounced off his knee. Out of play for a throw. Birmingham defending determinedly here, as they have done for most of the second half. They were pegged back to 2-2, but then edged themselves in front for a third time in the game. A header by Kitching, little flick backwards to Grimes. Grimes away on the far side of the field, and he finds Mason Clark. Back to Grimes again. Grimes to Kitching. De Silva, triangular passing for Coventry. They don't go any further forward. Grimes then does put a delivery into the penalty area, cleared away by Cashin, left-footed on the volley. Nice control by Grimes to pluck the ball out of the air. Such a cultured footballer. Good turn by Mason Clark. Left corner of the penalty area. Trying to nutmeg Doyle. Back comes the giant Williamson, who sweeps it off the feet of De Silva. And the ball sails into the away section where the 2,000 Coventry fans are standing. And it's another goal kick to Birmingham City. And actually, aside from the Sims equaliser in the second half, Beadle's not had a lot to do.
No, he's not, and you just see now he's very much managing the game, taking his time, and you can hardly blame him. But I think there was a couple of moments where he didn't look too comfortable at the start of the game. But aside from that, you're right, Joe, he's not had too much to do, and that probably tells a story about the Coventry players and that forward line.
Middlesbrough against Southampton at 3 o'clock on Talksport 2. Borough with the chance to close the gap on Coventry to 6 points. Mark will keep you up to date. Mark Wilson, our commentator, with the rest of the afternoon's football. A couple of postponements in the Championship. Sheffield United, Oxford United and Portsmouth Ipswich. So Middlesbrough could move back into the top 2 today. And Frank Lampard having a word with the fourth official. No sign of any imminent changes, further changes as yet, but Beadle, the Birmingham goalkeeper, has gone down and he says that he wants the physio on. So what can the referee do? Here comes the physio.
It's difficult, and the fact that actually Cashin, as Beadle was just taking that last goal kick, goes over to him, quite obviously says something, and then within the next 20 seconds he goes down. I mean, I've said this for a while now. I think the way to get around this is if the goalkeeper, it's difficult because how do you tell if it's an injury or not? But you know, we know with physios when they come on to treat an outfield player, the player has to go off. So why do we not do similar? But obviously not send the goalkeeper off, but send an outfield player off, so they're still down to 10. But
it's being mooted, isn't it, at the moment? Beadle being treated here, and Ryan Allsop, the Birmingham substitute goalkeeper, is on his feet, but I don't think he's necessarily going to need to go and warm up too much just yet. We'll be live at the King Power Stadium tomorrow night. Leicester against West Brom on Talksport 2. Then the midweek of Premier League football all across the Talksport network, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. So make sure you download our free app to be across all that. Beadle is back on his feet. The ball is back with Coventry. 3-2 down Coventry. 8 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Can you see them getting an equaliser, Courtney? Doesn't really feel like that at the moment. Long ball by Kitching down the middle. Header away. Sims will nudge it into the penalty area towards Redoni. Redoni, the angle is very tight here. He plays it back. Thomas arriving to dink it in and over the top of the back post by Sims. He wants a corner, but goal kick is given.
Well, he's not happy, Sims, is he? And to answer your question, Joe, going back, you know, they've not looked like the Coventry that we saw at the start of the season. There's no doubt about that. So, as they're playing, do they look clinical enough to score? Probably not. But the way this game's gone, I certainly wouldn't put it against them to put the ball in the back of the net again. And the only thing that worries me is defensively now. Birmingham City, they're dropping deeper and deeper, inviting more pressure. So, I wouldn't bet against another goal. For which side, though, it might go, who knows at this point.
Well, it's testament again, isn't it, to Birmingham's incredible home record. That having been humbled at Watford last time out, they are 3-2 up. And we have got 6.5 minutes of normal time to go in the game. This is Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. Still 0-0 between Leeds and Manchester United on Talksport right now. Redoni miscontrols. Birmingham throw in the left-back position. Frank Lampard clapping his hands together, trying to cajole his Coventry players into action. There is still time for an equaliser, but it is quite rapidly running out at this stage.
The thing is, as well, for Coventry, you can't say they overly deserve it. I know you don't always, get what you deserve in football. But if they are to lose today, I don't think anyone would begrudge Birmingham City for it. Yes, there's been elements where Coventry have dominated in the possession, but they've just not done enough in forward areas for me.
QPR have got a second against Sheffield Wednesday, leading by 2-0 in the Championship at Loftus Road. Birmingham win the ball back with Paik and then Samsted on halfway. Stansfield to Williamson, square ball to Samsted. He's beaten to it by Eccles. Quick ball out to the left and De Silva midway inside the Birmingham half. De Silva inside left channel. Further wide is Mason Clark. 3 in the middle waiting for the cross. Mason Clark going on the outside of Iwata, then trying to jink back onto his right side. Plays it backwards straight to Williamson. Williamson clears upfield. Nobody there in a blue shirt for Birmingham, so Rushworth, the Coventry goalkeeper, will come way out of his goal to take up possession again, and then Eccles bundles over Kyogo clumsily. A clear foul, a yellow card, and with 5 minutes to go, it almost sums up the day so far for Coventry City.
But that's exactly why Kyogo was brought on the pitch in this moment of the game, because the way that he runs, his selflessness, his energy is perfect for this situation. He's got absolutely no right to be anywhere near the ball there. Don't get me wrong, Eccles is very clumsy. And I actually don't think he sees Kyogo initially because he's unsighted, but brilliant work from the Birmingham City forward.
Well, it will just give Birmingham again the chance to slow the game down, which is exactly what Coventry don't want. Birmingham have sent Cashin forward here from the defensive position. Neumann is up as well, hoisted high to the back post. Cashin trying to get up. At the second attempt, he does nod it back into the penalty area. Header cleared by Thomas, comes out to Paik. Paik dribbles out towards the left and finds Stansfield close to the corner flag. Across comes Van Eyck, can't shepherd it out of play. Stansfield runs into Wright. Wright's got to be careful by his own goal line. Goal kick is the decision in the end from the referee. So 4 minutes left. Birmingham City 3, Coventry City 2. And it will be 3 without a win for the league leaders unless something changes really quickly.
Yeah, it has to. For Coventry, in that stage of the game, it's now or never, but I think they've only got themselves to blame at this point in time, conceding too many goals, not clinical enough in forward areas, and they're certainly on a run that they want to forget over this busy Christmas period.
Chip forward up the inside right, a fight ball for Sims here really. He's hooked it over his shoulder and has not been able to keep it in play. Got to be better than that at this stage of the game from Bobby Thomas, but it just feels as though Coventry have lacked that slick edge, that refinement in their play at both ends of the pitch that they have had for most of the season. And I wonder whether when Frank Lampard talks about clinical, he's talking about both boxes to some extent at the moment. Yes, they haven't scored as many. I think Beadle's been booked for time wasting, but as Courtney's been saying, they haven't defended at all well today.
No, they haven't, so you've got to look at both sides of it. The forwards, there's always that sort of argument between the forwards and defenders. The forwards will argue, well, we've scored 2 goals there, and if you keep a clean sheet, we win the game. So it's got to come from both sides. But I think what I have seen from Coventry at the first half of the season was, if they're struggling, they always found a way out, normally via set pieces. And I think they've had so many set pieces today, and long throws included in that, and they've not capitalised from those sorts of opportunities where maybe at the start of the season they did so.
Radoni out on the near side, the right. Radoni crosses, header flicked wide by the onrushing Eccles. First into the penalty area at the near post, and in the end 10-12 yards wide of goal. There'll be a change for Coventry here. Eccles, that was his last involvement as he goes off, and 19-year-old Kai Andrews will make just his 9th Coventry League appearance as he comes on.
I think Eccles will be disappointed with that last moment in the game for him. Should do better. It's a good ball in. Needs to get a full forehead on that, directed towards goal, tries to glance it in. It's the wrong technique.
Well, Andrews has come through the Coventry Youth Academy. Might be too late for Coventry to produce a comeback now, though, with just over a minute of normal time to go, and actually not a lot in terms of clear-cut chances since Birmingham went in front for a third time after 63 minutes.
That's really surprised me, especially with Birmingham City going to a back 5 and inviting a lot of pressure, and I thought that might spell danger for them, but actually Coventry haven't capitalised on it. They've had a lot of possession in these areas in terms of where they are now, in the middle of the pitch, around the back line and in the midfield, but nothing too clinical in that box.
Mason Clark in the area, goes down, nothing given by the referee. Tangle with Iwata. What do you make of it? Second time of asking, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, when you look at it on the monitor.
I think Iwata is very fortunate here because he's not particularly looking at the ball at one point. Initially he is, and then he's got his hands round Mason Clark and he's not looking at the ball. It's in the second phase. Mason Clark brings it down on his chest. He's got a full hand of his shirt as well as sort of rugby tackling him. I don't know how it's not been given.
No penalty. Maybe Birmingham have got away with one there as we go into stoppage time at the end of the game. Eight added minutes. Well, there have been a a couple of injury stoppages, I suppose. The stoppage for Paik.
Yeah.
And Beadle did go down, and I wonder whether that is added into the equation. Birmingham 3, Coventry 2, with Middlesbrough against Southampton to come here on Talksport 2, but 8 added minutes. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk.
Yeah, I mean, you've had a couple of injuries, we've had the goals, but 8 does seem extremely a lot of time, to be honest. 5, maybe 6, but 8, it's a lot, and that'll give Coventry a big boost. But they're just playing that incident again in the penalty area, and more I see it,
it's a penalty, isn't it?
Yeah, day and night. Every Sunday, every month of Sundays, that's a penalty, but not to be for Coventry.
Iwata on Mason Clark, and well, it'll be interesting to get Frank Lampard's thoughts at the end of the afternoon about that. QPR 3, Sheffield Wednesday 0 is the latest score in the Championship, and Leeds lead Manchester United in the Premier League 1-0 on Talksport right now. Just download our free app to swipe between both stations. Kai Andrews for Coventry, back to Rushworth, so we've had nearly 90 seconds of the 8 added. Rushworth slips as he cannons the ball long upfield, header away by Iwata. And drops down to Andrews, beaten Doyle to the ball. Doyle, though, wins it back and finds Williamson, dragging the ball along the right touchline. Williamson does well to gain a bit of yardage and win Birmingham a throw inside the Coventry half. And Doyle is trying to whip up the Birmingham fans in the Kop. Birmingham are going to make another substitution now. Off goes Jay Stansfield. He will get a standing ovation and be replaced by Kanya Fujimoto, who will make just his 3rd Birmingham appearance today.
Well, rightly so. Jay Stansfield coming off the pitch gets a big ovation. The work that he's got through today, really put himself about, added that little bit of quality in the forward line as well, and definitely a big player for Birmingham City, isn't he? And he's not always performed this season, but I think he's played very well today.
Leeds 1, Manchester United 1. Very quickly, Aronson put Leeds in front. Cunha with an equaliser for Manchester United. Commentary continues over on Talksport. They kicked off half an hour later than us. We are in the 3rd minute of 8 added on at the end of the game here on Talksport 2. Fujimoto makes a good interception. Now Kyogo on the edge of the area with a deflected shot. Rushworth backpedals and manages to clutch onto the ball. Just for a moment, he looked uncertain there.
Yeah, he did. He reshuffled his feet, but fortunate for him, there was enough power taken off the shot that it didn't loop over him into the back of the net. But what a time to score that would have been for Kyogo.
Birmingham 3, Coventry 2. Coventry long to Thomas, who's playing as a striker now. Cleared away by Paik. 4.5 minutes left for the leaders to find an equaliser. They're going to drop more points in the promotion race as it stands. Even if their lead is still a sizable one, it could be reduced to 6 points by Middlesbrough by the end of the day. Grimes with a forward ball. Mason Clark in the area, trying to get away from Neumann. They want handball against Neumann in the penalty area. Loud appeals from the Coventry fans behind the goal. Nothing from Frank Lampard on the touchline, at least not that we can obviously see.
No, I think it hits a hand, but I don't think it's a penalty. It's not in an unnatural position. The close proximity, it would have been very harsh.
Halfway through the 8 added. Coventry seeking a dramatic injury time equaliser. Plenty of late goals this season. Van Ewijk crosses away by Cashin. He's nudged that away with his knee. Thomas down in the box, and Thomas swings an arm towards Neumann, and he could be in trouble here. Referee has given the free kick, and Thomas might go. He's off, and it gets worse and worse for Coventry. And Thomas wants to have his say again, but he marches off the field, and it's a desperate day for the league leaders. Not only do they look like they're going to be beaten, but now Bobby Thomas has been sent off. And with just over 3 minutes of added time to go, that could be the end of the story.
Ridiculous. Don't know why he's going off clapping the fans. There's just... He gets caught up in a little bit of to and fro with Neumann, I think it is. The ball's come out. Thomas was initially on the floor. And Neumann goes over to him to say, get up, in a different phrasing, don't get me wrong. He's then sort of body checked him with his shoulder. And then Thomas has just reached out with his hand and hit him open palm across the back of the head. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, Birmingham have surely won it now. 3-2 up, and the ball is being juggled in the stands at the moment by the home supporters. They don't want to get it back onto the pitch. There is a spare ball that's been retrieved. 2 minutes of added time to go, and the other ball has been thrown on. Birmingham have it down by the corner flag on the far side of the field, and Kyogo has the ball. So Coventry down to 10 men for the final 2 minutes, 3-2 down, and they've lost possession.
You know what, Joe? Frank Lampard should be giving Bobby Thomas an absolute rocket when he gets in at full time, because it's not just about this game now. Say the game was done, it wasn't. There's still an opportunity, but it's about now, later on, 3 games now that he's going to get banned for that. So it's being without a crucial player for 3 games and he's completely let his side down. It's ridiculous.
Great noise from the St Andrews crowd. Keep right on, sing the Birmingham supporters. We are in the 7th minute of added time, 90 seconds to go. Birmingham 3, the 10 men now of Coventry 2. As De Silva wrestles Kyogo to the ground. Williamson takes up the loose ball. It's gone out of play. Coventry throw, but they barely got a minute to try and get the ball forward here. And it looks as though Coventry are going to be beaten for the second time in 3 games. Header away by Aaron Cashin for Birmingham City. Grimes all the way back to his goalkeeper. 50 seconds to go. Rushworth with a chip over the halfway line. The flick by Van Eyck straight to Sampson, who will clear upfield. Birmingham such a threat when they play at St Andrews to any team in the division.
Yeah, they've been brilliant today. Obviously they've conceded a couple, but you know, for the league leaders to come here and Birmingham City looks so convincing. It's credit to them, and they'll be hoping that now this continues, that the form can really ramp up, that away from home they find a bit of something as well.
Coventry long towards Mason Clark. Iwata winning the battle. Mason Clark tries to trip him up. De Silva's won it back on the halfway line, but well done to the referee, because there was a foul by Mason Clark. Free kick to Birmingham, and that should be that. We'd had the 8 minutes of added time. Birmingham 3, Coventry 2.
Yeah, it's brilliant from the referee, in all fairness to him. Try to let the play go on. There wasn't just one. I think there was a couple of fouls in there, in all honesty. But they play the advantage, wait for it, and then pull it back. Great from the referee.
Well, they want the final whistle against the 10 men here to Birmingham City. The 10 men of Coventry look beaten now. James Beadle will smash the ball forward deep into Coventry territory. Birmingham fans on their feet all around the ground, but the whistle doesn't go just yet. Free kick to Coventry. And midway inside their own half, Rushworth is going to take it, and everybody's going to come forward in Coventry orange. Well, this really is it. Added time on added time right at the end of the game. Frank Lampard hands in pockets as Rushworth does go long for Coventry. Up towards Kitching, beaten in the air by Aaron Cashin. Cashin carries it forward now down the left for Birmingham City. Only Kyogo in the middle. Cashin has run towards the corner flag. He's done very well, the former Derby man. Keeps it in play down by the dead ball line. No foul by Van Eyck. Goal kick Coventry. Still we play on into the 100th minute now in the Championship. Drama at its very best. 3-2 to Birmingham. Header on by Sims. Cleared away by Sampson. Birmingham fans baying the referee for the whistle. Rushworth has it, the Coventry goalkeeper. Bowls it out underarm. And that's the full-time whistle. The league leaders are beaten. And Coventry drop points again in the race for promotion. Could this be the day that Birmingham reignite their own challenge? It's a big win at St Andrews for Chris Davis and his players. A first win in 8 in the league for Birmingham City. And for the first time this season, Coventry have gone 3 league matches without a victory. What a game it was. 3 times Birmingham went ahead, and in the end that was enough. Marvin Dukes very early on put them in front. Eccles with an instant reply for Frank Lampard's Coventry. Kumas then made it 2-1 before Sims equalised again on the hour mark. But out of nothing, Dukes with his second and Birmingham's third. That was enough to win them the game. Thomas sent off in added time for Coventry, but it's no win in the new year so far for the Sky Blues. And though their lead at the top of the championship is still a sizable one, Middlesbrough can cut the gap to just 6 points when they play Southampton at 3 o'clock live on Talksport 2. Birmingham might well have blown the title race wide open, and at the same doing, maybe showing that a playoff push is not beyond them. What a thriller at St Andrews. It finishes Birmingham 3, the 10 men of Coventry 2.
Joe Shannon, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, excellent work, and game that was entertaining from the first kick. It continued that way all the way through, and big permutations in the championship, playoff push and the title race as well. Courtney, that final 10 minutes from a Coventry point of view, not being awarded a penalty, a stupid red card, probably just sum up how their form, how things are going for them at the moment.
Yeah, look, I think the penalty, it should have been, in my opinion. The Bobby Thomas situation is quite frankly ridiculous. It's petulant. There's no need to do it. I get that frustrations, they run high. They're in a position that they don't want to be, Coventry, and actually this season they're not used to being in. But he's let his team down massively there, not just for today, but as I say, in terms of then the resulting ban, what happens for the next few games. So I think that's absolutely ridiculous, and he needs to take a long, hard look at himself. And yeah, you can argue the toss about the penalty. It should have been a penalty, but we know in the Championship and the EFL, there's no VAR. So you have to deal with it and you get on with it, and you just hope that throughout the season it evens itself out. But the simple fact of the matter is, for me, Coventry, they weren't good enough today. Yes, they scored 2 goals, but in terms of the set pieces, I think I expected better from them in terms of the volume of set pieces they didn't score from. And defensively, they were absolutely dreadful. For me, they've got no one else to blame today but themselves.
Yeah, the penalty decision was interesting because I can totally see what you're saying. It intrigues me that there wasn't a huge appeal on the pitch from the Coventry players themselves. That surprised me. In terms of the form, 3 defeats in a month for Coventry. They've lost only once before that. They had such a brilliant start to the season. What sort of impact does this run of form have on this team, do you think?
Well, I think it remains to be seen. If they're a team that goes in and gets promoted at a canter, they take it in their stride. They realise that, yes, they've lost 3 games, or saw a no win in 3, and it's not fatal. And they continue as they did at the start of the season in terms of they get back to goal scoring form. And they look a little bit better defensively. But if this affects them, everyone is clawing at them. We mentioned the Borough game obviously coming a little bit later on, which I'll be listening to on the way home. You've got the rearranged fixture that Ipswich will play because they've been postponed today, so that's opportunities for them to obviously claw back. So it's how much do they feel now, Borough and Ipswich breathing down their necks. We'll really get to see the character of Coventry now, because it's easy. I said not easy. It's not easy what they did at the start of the season, but when you're winning games and scoring goals and whatever it is, 8, 9, 10 points clear, that's the easy bit. Now this is the difficult work when you're on a bad run, and then you see it with teams sometimes. They start pointing fingers at each other. They start pointing fingers at the manager, but if they've got anything about them, they get back hard to work at the training ground, they rectify the issues, and they finish the season the way they started it.
And the need for reinforcements for Frank Lampard underlined today, maybe just didn't have enough of the options on his bench to turn that game?
No, they didn't. And I mentioned Thomas Asante, his injury. Hadji Wright doesn't look right, excuse the pun, to me, in terms of obviously his lack of goal scoring form. I think the forward line, but more so maybe sort of the goal scoring midfielders behind it, is an issue that they need to look at as well. And to be honest, the way that defence played today, I'm not surprised that they're looking at defenders as well. But I think reinforcements are important, and I think I mentioned it at the start of the show, not just for now, but if they are to get promoted in the Premier League, then it's something that they can do in January, and obviously without having to have a really big summer. If they can add a few sort of Premier League quality players now, then that's an ideal world. But we all know how difficult the transfer market is in January.
And what about Birmingham? Huge result for them this. They want to push for the playoffs. I mean, they've got the home form to be able to do it, don't they? You guys were saying that in commentary. It's just about sorting out that away form. Yeah, and I think I mentioned it in terms of, because I was at the Sheffield United Leicester game, and I looked at them where they were, and I said, if they can put a good run together, then they can make the playoffs. And I say the same for Birmingham. I suppose the difference is that Birmingham's away form rather definitely leaves a lot to be desired. So if they can pick that up, I don't think it's out of the realms of possibility. But they certainly need to add a few, I think, in January. And already the new addition, I think, looked fantastic, by the way. I was really impressed with him. So we know that they've got the buying power, Birmingham City, and obviously the big attraction for people to come in now because of this project. So if they can add a few more, I think they'll be in a good position to make the playoffs. Well, pleasure as always, Courtney. Hell of a game as well. Thank you, mate. Enjoyed it. Top stuff. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk there. That was your commentary team. Birmingham 3, Coventry 2. What a way to kick off our championship double bill here on Talksport 2